With folded hands, Jai Julilal, Dada Sham, Hari Om, Om Shanti. Today, we're all here for a very, very special person who's truly, truly been very close to our hearts. The beautiful soul who won hearts of millions with his love and care, as well as his beautiful smile. Our great Dada Arjan Daswani ji. On behalf of Alliance of Global Sindhi Association, may we please request our President, Datuk Shah Lalchand Ranai, to be here with us, please. Jai Julilal, Dada Sham.
Jai Julilal. Thank you for your introduction, Ms. Simran Ayuja, and also being our anchor for this special event. Hari Om, Jai Julilal to all. Before I begin this event, my deepest condolence to Mr. Vinod, Rajesh, and Gina, who are the sons and the daughter of Dada and his son-in-law, Mr. Pishu Advani, and also the entire Daswani family. May his soul rest in peace. It is very sad that we are gathered here today for this AGSA soulful to our respected and beloved late Dada Shri Arjan Daswani, who have departed for the heavenly home on the 4th of July in Singapore at the age of 90. I would like to call all members present here and also our fellow Sindhis who are watching this live event now. Can we all observe a minute of silence?
May we also please request the family, Mr. Vinod Daswani ji, the daughter Gina Advani ji, the son-in-law Pishu sir, to kindly join us along with Mr. Lalit Shah, who was a closest friend like family, Mr. Prakash Hinduja ji, Ms. Ramola Motwani ji, Mr. Lal Motwani ji, Dr. Dayal Meshri ji, and everyone who's present here. Sir, may we please start by truly maintaining silence.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. As the president of Alliance Global Sindhi Association, together with my board members, I would like to welcome the family members of Dada, Mr. Vinod Daswani, Gina Advani, Pishu Advani, and our honorable respected guest, Mr. Prakash Hinduja, and also all our dignitary guests, and also to all who are watching our virtual AGSA Live Soulful Tribute event for our board of director, late Dada Arjan Daswani, who was our pillar of AGSA. Please all welcome to this event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Datuk Shah sir. We're going to ask you for every AGSA event. Dada was always there for us and with us. So may I please request you, Datuk Shah Lalchand Ranai, to please tell us something more about Dada before we request our family to tell us something.
Well, sure, Simran. A brief history of late Dada Shri Arjan Tahil Ram Daswani. Our late Dada Arjan Daswani was born in Hyderabad, Sindh in the year 1931. Prior to the partition of India, which took place on the 15th August 1957, he traveled elsewhere and to Bangalore for the employment purpose. With the partition took place, he was in India, but the rest of his family were in Hyderabad, Sindh, which became part of Pakistan. Therefore, Dada's family was still in Hyderabad, Sindh, and the family communicated with Dada via telegrams. His family indicated that they would cross to India-Pakistan border and planned to join Dada in India. Dada Arjan then completed his matriculation equivalent of GCEA level examination. After that, he worked as a teacher. He taught Sanskrit and Sindhi. In 1947, he secured employment in the company known as Modern Six Store in Singapore. He worked in Modern Six Store from 1949 to 1967. During this period, he decided to get married in 1960 with Madam Salah and traveled to Pune, India for the wedding. In 1967, he decided he wanted to focus most of his time on promoting Sindhi language and advocate to Sindhi people who were scattered all over the world, who should stay in touch with each other by our Sindhi language. He organized several sammelans through Alliance of Global Sindhi Association, which is also known as AGSA. He advocated learning Sindhi through Romanizing scripts by a website known as Romanizing Sindhi. Later, he started another project known as Global Hindu Sindhi, has meant for Sindhi people to stay in touch with each other and get the census of the Hindu Sindhi's population at large. His Dada journey in AGSA from year 2008 to 2012 as a director of AGSA, and in the year of 2012 to 2016, he became the vice president. And the year 2016 and 2017, he became the executive vice president, where he worked very hard. And Dada was a very determined person for his dedication, work, and service towards AGSA. He received AGSA Award of Appreciation in 2014 at the 21st Sindhi Sammelan at Kuala Lumpur, was presented by our past president, Dr. Dayal Mistry. The next AGSA Award of Appreciation in the year 2016 at the 23rd Sindhi Sammelan in Toronto, and also Dada received the third award, that is AGSA Lifetime Achievement Award, in the year 2017 in the 24th Sindhi Sammelan Julalal cruise from Singapore to Hong Kong. The board of this British awards were presented by our past president, Mr. Lal Motwani. I'm glad to say that Dada deserves these 3 awards from AGSA. My last meeting with Dada, which I chaired at the AGSA meeting, was on the 23rd of June, about 3 weeks ago. From Dada's bedside, that was his final and the last meeting with all the board members. He was very passionate always for AGSA and our Sindhi community. He was our pillar of AGSA, and will not forget the last meeting and also the voice message he was sent to me on the 27th June, which is gave me the blessing of telling me to continue all the good work which I'm doing for AGSA currently. My personal experience with Dada, that he's the one who brought me into AGSA family when I organized the 21st International Sindhi Sammelan in Kuala Lumpur in the year 2014. I started as the board member, director, and currently the president of AGSA. I am in debt, and I'll never forget Dada in my life, who have brought me in this family of AGSA. Now, I'd like to say and share with the family of members of Dada that you have a great father, and he is our legendary in our Sindhi community, who have a lot of love and passion to promote the Sindhi language and our culture. Dada is a great loss to our Sindhi community in large and the Alliance Global Sindhi Association. The great loss to us. We will never forget Dada, and he will always be in our heart. I hope we all can continue his work and what he have done for our beloved Sindhi community. Finally, I know you are watching from above. On behalf of the Sindhi community at large, we salute you and we are going to miss you. May your soul rest in peace. Om Shanti, Jai Jhulelal.
Jai Jhulelal. In a short brief, we heard about the life lived by Dada and the way he inspired, encouraged, and made everyone fall in love with life. May we please request his son, Mr. Vinod Daswani ji, to tell us more about that.
Namaste. I have not actually prepared any speech, but if you can ask me some specific questions, then I'll be more than prepared to answer them. I have not prepared any speech. Maybe you could ask me some questions, and that will make my task easier.
That's very, very kind. And he was very close to everyone in the AGSA family. And I'm going to request Datuk Shah sir to please raise a question. But I would definitely like to know that the kind of energy I've seen in Dada every time we are live and he's live in our show is unbelievable. So I just want to know, where did so much of abundance of love come from? And, it has definitely passed on to you as well. So I'm going to please request you to throw some light on this.
I think perhaps because in the earlier part of his life, he was actually teaching Sanskrit and Sindhi in a school prior to joining modern sixth law in Singapore. So that, I think, is where his passion started. And then much later on, when he stopped doing his business, and he, especially after my mother's passing away, I think, he decided to focus more on the Sindhi community and promoting the Sindhi language, as well as the Sindhis keeping in touch with each other. So he was an advocate of Sindhi being written in the Romanized script, because many people around the world may not be able to read the Arabic script, which is the original, I think it's the original script of the Sindhi language. And then, even though I know that in India, the Devanagari script is being popularized to write Sindhi, but the thing is, I think for people who are overseas, they might not be familiar with Arabic and or Devanagari. So most of us, I think, are only familiar with the Romanized script, which is the script which is used for the English language. So he decided to focus on the Romanized script, and then he actually developed, and later on launched a particular website called Romanized Sindhi, in which people can learn about the Sindhi language, but at the same time, do not have to learn the Arabic script and or the Devanagari script. In other words, they could still converse in Sindhi by just focusing on the Arabic script. So prior to his developing this Romanized script properly, I think he traveled to. There was a meeting in Gujarat. I forget the name of the city in Gujarat, where he met quite a number of prominent professors and advocates of the Sindhi language. And the purpose of the meeting was that they could agree upon the spelling, for example, of each particular letter. They could agree on things because there were so many different versions. So during that meeting, they agreed on the spelling based on Romanized script of each particular letter and or word, and that was the start of the Romanized script. Once they agreed, then Romanized Hindi could be properly launched. Yeah, that's it.
Been the blessing to the entire world with Romanized English. And Datuk Shah Arjan Ranai sir, we've already spoken about AGSA taking this initiative. Would you like to say something regards this and ask something from Vinod Daswani ji? Vinod ji, thank you for sharing this with us, because we'll definitely make sure that we carry this forward under AGSA for sure.
Thank you.
Mr. Vinod, yeah, knowing your dad, I think I know him very personally. And I think I don't know whether you're aware or not. I have visited your house last 3-4 years back when he invited me. So I went to your apartment there and spent a lot of time with him, talking to him. So I was really surprised and amazed that, how was he working and how he was doing his job. I mean, this gentleman was with his room, with his eyesight problems and everything. He had a big computer in front of me, which I witnessed myself. And he gone through with all the dedication that he has. He worked so hard for it. So we are very impressed and everything. So, it's, for us, it's a very big shoes. He left us whether, we need to work hard to get to his shoe size. So we know other than that, he have done a lot of work for the Sindhi. What was his another passionate things that he loved to do and all that? We know that Dada was very involved with the Sindhi community and he's loved by all the people around the world. Until his last hours, I think he was still in his mind running was Sindhi community. So what passionate he have other than always in this thing, something that I don't think a lot of us know about it. And then I will leave it to all my board members, past presidents, to ask you a few questions. Then we can go forward for the whole programs. And I think a lot of people are here today. They want to share their experience, what they had with your dad. So, what he had another passionate other than being in
His
this.
other passion was, I think he was trying to make some kind of a family tree, trying to find out from all our relatives who is in which part of the world, what year they were born, how many children they had, what are the names of the children, when the children were born, and so on. He was trying to make a family tree, and he was very passionate about all the people, or rather all the members of the family, being in touch with each other, because Sindhis are dispersed all over the world. So he was very passionate that all the Sindhis, or rather all the relatives, should be in touch with each other. So he started making some kind of family tree. Yes.
Yeah, that'll be great. At least he's, thinking very deep for the whole family thing. So I think he have left us with a lot of history, and we got a lot of things to look at it with. Like everybody knows about it. So I think I will leave to my board director, board past presidents, immediate past Ramola and Lal and Mr. Dayal, to say something on that point. I hope Mr. Prakash Hinduja is around even in time.
Sure. Maybe, someone ask. But at the same time, I'm going to please request Gina, who's here with us, Dada's daughter. I'm going to please ask Gina. The Dada was very, very fond of daughters. So, Gina, what would you like to say about Dada, please? Gina, if you're here with us, and Pishu Advani ji, the brother-in-law, if you can hear me. They will join us in a while. In case we have Prakash Hinduja sir who's joined us here.
Yeah,
now
if Prakash not here, I think he just called me. Yeah. He said he'll be on the way. He's coming soon. So we can just carry on.
Thank you. Someone who was very, very close to Dada is our past immediate president, Ramola Motwani ji. And she has abundance to talk about Dada and lots to share about Dada, all the memories she's had with him and the learnings she's had from Dada. May we please request Ramola Motwani ma'am to please tell us.
Thank you, Simran. Jai Jhulelal. My heartfelt condolences to Daswani family and also Advani family. This is a loss, not just to the family, but it's a loss to the entire Sindhi community worldwide. Arjan was not just a board director of AGSA to me. In recent years, we became close friends, and in more recent times, we became brother and sister. We spoke few times a week, and the positive thing about this was the conversations were always nothing about Sindhis and Sindhiyat and about our projects, about the future of everything. And it was always a positive conversation. And I enjoyed it. Sometimes he would wake me up early morning. He knew I'm an early riser. And he would just say, "Oh, I just called to say hello." So it was such a beautiful way to start a morning with positive thoughts, with positive conversations. And I always reminded him, before we hung up, he had to smile for me. Whenever he did something, he worked on something, he was so committed. His commitment, his dedication, and his love for Sindhis and Sindhi community was unparalleled. He left a legacy for all of us that nothing is impossible. We can work from a wheelchair. We can accomplish our goals laying in a hospital bed. It was so inspirational to see his involvement. In spite of his health conditions, with his eye problem, with so many issues, it was always about what more can I do for the community. To me, his life is a celebration. 90 years old, people lose their memory, people cannot think of anything. He was hardcore thinker until the last day of his life. I truly salute him. I am truly going to miss his calls and think of him. I still sometimes feel in the morning he's going to call me. His projects, and it's very important, not just for all of us who are on this call, but also for the viewers. I very humbly urge you, whoever was involved with him in Romanized Sindhi and in Hindu, Global Hindu Sindhi.org, whatever information you have, we have a lot of it, but there is always something. There was so much he was doing with all of you. Please reach out to AGSA, come to us, because we must continue this good work. Romanized Sindhi is a gift. It's a gift to God, of God, to the community, to our Sindhis, to our future young generation who doesn't speak or read Devanagari or Arabic Sindhi. It's a worldwide, we live in a global world now, in a global economy. And this is so important, especially when we have this global Hindu Sindhi project. This is for young generation, for our future. And if they don't understand language, we couldn't go any farther. This was the great work. It's our responsibility. The registration is free. He will be very happy. Just register. So we have the head count of Sindhis worldwide. So we can go to our next project that he brought me on, was Hind Mein Sindh. That was very near and dear to his heart. He trusted me. And he said, Ramola, you will be a great asset to this project. You have to join. You have to come forward. He convinced me. And Hind Mein Sindh, he used to participate in the shows from his bed, from his hospital bed, it's unbelievable. A person was a thinker and a doer, and he did a lot. And it's our responsibility now, a true tribute to him, a true tribute to his soul, and a true Shradhanjali will be from all of us, whatever little we can do, whatever big we can do. But if we can all contribute something, it will not only make him happy and at peace wherever he is, watching us, looking upon us, but also for our community that can take advantage of this and get to the new heights where one day we will have Hind Mein Sindh and we will be thinking about him. I'm sending lots of loves, thoughts, and prayers to my brother. May his soul rest in peace. And I'm very grateful to him, very thankful to him for believing in me, for trusting me, and for sharing with me all that he did and all the love that he gave to me, to AGSA, and to his family, to his community in Singapore and worldwide. Thank you very much. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Thank you very much, Mr. Molaji, for sharing with us everything about Dada and for telling us how deep person Dada was. And now we can it's Dada's very close friend, as we call, बहुत ही close yaar or dost, who was just like a family to Dada. May we please request Mr. Lalit Shahji to tell us more about Dada, because he knew everything about Dada. Lalit Shahji.
Namaste. It's with a very heavy heart, I have to say that I still miss my dear big brother, Dada Arjan Daswani. He was very close to me, we were very close to each other, right from the day we met each other about 60 years ago. We used to talk almost every week. And the last conversation I had with him was on the 3rd of June night. I was feeling very sad. He was very sad. Arjan Daswani, as you all know, started his life in Singapore with modern silk straw. And he used to tell me that his proprietor, I think is Mr. Kishan Chand, was a very great man, was a taskmaster, and it is from whom he learned all his good things, and that made him what he was, hardworking, intelligent, and whatever task he took on hand, he would see that it was completed. His passing away is a great loss to AGSA, I'm sure, and to all the Sindhi community all over the world. And it's also a great loss to me and my family. We knew his family very well, and we had been to his houses many times in River Valley Road and in the flat where he last lived. Arjan Daswani was a taskmaster. He had a very hard life. he came up on his own, built his own little business, built up a nice family. I know Vinod, Raj, and Pushpa, his daughter, when they were young. Arjan Daswani, for the last 15 or 20 years, had only one view or point in mind, and that was the Sindhi community and the Romanized Sindhi project, which was very close to his heart, right to the last day of his life. He was a very kind man at heart. He may look stern on his face, but he had a golden heart, always willing to help whoever came to him. When I first started my business, I was young. I was much younger than him. I was 10 years younger to him, but he always regarded me as a brother, and he took my wife as his sister. He used to guide me. He used to teach me. And when the time comes, he used to even scold me if it was necessary for me to learn. Arjan was always an inspiration to everybody whom he met, and he left an impression that none of us will forget. Unfortunately, his wife passed away before her time, and he missed her very much. But still, he carried on his life. And the last 15 or 20 years, he dedicated his life to the Sindhi community, to the well-being of the Sindhi community all over the world, to the Romanized Sindhi language project. And it was his wish that the government of India could create a state, Sindh state, in India for all the Sindhis to call India their homeland. My sincere condolences to Vinod, Raj, Pushpa, and to all the Sindhi communities, and especially AGSA. Thank you very much for having me. I really miss him. As Ramola said, he used to call me, whether it's 12 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I miss his call. He used to come to me for some problems. We used to solve the problems each other. He has been in contact with me from the time he joined AGSA and from the time he took over the Romanized Sindhi project. And I had the pleasure of meeting many of your directors and members when you had the Sammelan in Ahmedabad in 2011, when he got his award. And I think Ram Jetlani and Lal Advani were also there. He also invited me to the 2014 seminar in KL, but I could not attend because I was not in Malaysia. It is an honor that AGSA has given me to be able to speak my heart out at this meeting. Thank you very much. Namaste. If you have any questions, please ask me.
Okay. Datuk Shah sir has mentioned namaste to you. Datuk Shah sir, you may please speak to them.
I would like to say that, thank you very much for sharing a lot of information that a lot of us did not know about it, because you're the true deep friend of him. Like you told me, you speak to him every day. So I think we all know Dada pretty well. Thank you for coming for this show, taking your time. We really highly appreciate. Thank you, Mr. Lalit Shah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sirs. As we all know, yes, Dada had the intelligence just like Arjuna. So was Dada's name, Arjanji. And of course, he had a vision. And Mr. Lal Motwani ji and Dr. Dayal Mishri ji knew quite too much about their mission. May we please request Mr. Lal Motwani ji to tell us something about this?
Really, I have worked so many people in my life. I was involved with so many organizations, especially Federation of Indian Association, NFIA, and Global Sindhi, Global Hindus, and Indians all over the world. But I have not seen such a person now. Very hard worker. Very hard worker. I was in his contacts only from last 10 years, but I saw him. He don't forget when he takes any work. I know him from Ahmedabad, and that was after a long time I joined back to this alliances of Sindhi associations. And he was very close to me, especially after the Sammelan at Indore. When we converted this alliances of Global Sindhi Association of America into the alliances of Global Sindhi Associations. He became first vice president over there, and our Dayal Mishri was the president elected. And after that, he became very close to me when we formed the Constitution of Alliances. I was shocked to know him that he was not only knowing about the Sindhi, which he was writing about Sindhi also, but he was knowing so much information about the bylaws also. And we prepared the bylaws of Alliances of Global Sindhi Association, and he was working with me day and night. At that time, I got the information. This guy knows each and everything, not only Sindhis and other, but the bylaws also. He worked very hard with me. And then we formed the first alliances at the first convention of Global Association at Malaysia. And we passed that. But after that also, he worked with me on other things regarding Sindhis. He was more involved with the Sindhi community in this way, as other people also says, Ramola said, and our president said. But once he takes anything, he try to finish at the last moment. It was shocking when he was in the last moment, he was on a bed, but still he was thinking about the Sindhi community, and he was coming in the meeting when he was sleeping on the bed. Nobody can do that thing. And this was giving us a lesson that once you take work, take it up to the end. And we learn from him. I really respect him. I love him. And he was a great person. And we learn a lot from him. I really pranam to him, and I give condolence by heart from my heart to his family and his son and daughter. Thank you very much.
Shri Lal Motwani ji. And you said it so right, because we really had AGSA rooms, 2.5 hours. Arjan sir used to be with us. It was so heartfelt. And he spoke, in the most energetic manner, more than any of us. And the love and passion, we could see it so clearly. We could hear it so clearly. May we please request Dr. Dayal Mishri ji was again very close to Dada, to please share something with us. Ji.
Thank you, Saran. Jai Jhulelal. I don't know where I can start. This is a Shradhanjali. It's a little bit tragedy of the human life. We remember and say these good things after the person's gone. Only the purpose behind it is to think the good deeds, what he or she did, so we can at least learn something from their life and try to follow even part of their path to make life easy for us and the others. True Shraddha Anjali should be given to the individual when the person is alive. I wish Dada was here. Whatever everyone is saying it, he deserves much more than, he deserves everything of it. I can recall many things. It's I can spend hours and hours, time limited, to describe him. He was a unique individual. He was walking encyclopedia of Sindhology, Sindhi community, Sindhi civilization. I was surprised during my 8 years of presidency of AGSA. Any part of the world I traveled, he had a contact. I wanted to go someplace, meet contact. He was the first one to make a list for me, to send me, make sure if I'm in Japan, or I'm in Moscow, or I am in Bulgaria. He wanted to put that on the piece of paper. Not only he called those individuals that I'm on my way, I must wait. He was advocate. He guided me while as I was president. Make sure any city I go to and visit India or any other part of the world, whether it's China or Japan or England or France or Germany, here the Sindhis live, and please contact them. It's amazing. I mean, any place you want to see, this man had in his mind and on his books. And the most particular thing was that he was a very prompt. I really wonder he ever slept many odd hours of the day and evening. I call him from different parts of the world. He will immediately respond to me. I think those who worked with him must have the experience, the how prompt this guy was. You write any question, anything to Arjan Daswani, and you immediately get a reply. But mostly we all are busy. Normally the people don't respond to social work. You have to remind 4 or 5 times, but not to Arjan Daswani. He lived last 16 years which I worked with him diligently. All the time Sindhiyat was on his mind and in the heart. He organized 2010 Sammelan 11 in Ahmedabad, and all the president at the time, we had about 12 different scholars from different parts of India. We had long discussion. Finally, we came up with the final script, and which was finalized. Not only that, he kept the track of that, and after a couple of years, the Pakistani Sindhis, they also try to do the same version copy of that one. So his correspondence was there. He wanted to see that every Sindhi, only not to know the script, but know our literature, our treasure. He was asking the authors to translate old Sindhis from the Devanagari or from the Arabic script into the Romanized Sindhi, so that our not this present generation but the other generation of the future also can look into this one. And he had a dream. I call it a monumental task, like conquering in a Mount Everest, having the knowing this directly of the Sindhi community, global Hindu Sindhi, and wow! I said, how could be possible? We had discussed so many times. He said, Doc, we got to start someplace. We don't start, we don't have anything. I know we may not be able to list each and every Sindhi into the directory, but with the help, we will have lots of them. And even to the last day, I can't believe it. This unique soul lying in the bed, hardly can talk or move his head or hands. He was giving me instructions. Please, I'm leaving this task to you. So that I'm also getting as old as you are. And he said, we will need a lot of help, a lot of dinner, but I promise you that I'll do my level best, see what we could do, continue to promote the the Hindu Sindhi come directory, have as much benefited, and also the especially matrimonial thing, the youth involvement, and Romanized Sindhi script. He had given a task. Last his email to me was only 4 or 5 days before he passed away. He left this world. I'm going to miss him a lot. His calls, his phone, his emails, correspondence, guidance. He lived each and every moment of his life for Sindhis. Amazing man. I have not come across any other individual who was so dedicated. We were, another president came out, we had very small budget. He organized the cruises, and he was a good businessman also. He was a very good planner. And what he did, he negotiated with the cruise company that every 7 room is sold, 1 room AGSA gets free. And from that way, we had thousands of dollars coming in, and those rooms were sold. And this is how we build up the finances. So when it came to the money management or collect the funds, a lot of other people talk that, oh, we can bring the money, but they really don't contribute or neither collect it. Talking is very easy. So Dada Arjan Daswani was not the talker, he was a doer. Lot of things we talk, we want to do this, we promise the moon, but we cannot reach the next door even. But he was a unique man. So when his life comes out, we have to think Shradhanjali, true Shradhanjali will be there, and those people are present here or listening. My request is, do something for the Sindhiat. You are Sindhi, you have obligations. A man must dedicate a certain amount of time to the community. Yes, we have our obligations, we have social obligations, we live the life professionally, we achieve, we do publications, we do all the things, but our obligation to our Sindhiyat, unless we do it, our children won't learn it. And what's the future of the generation, which is a thousands year oldest generation Sindhis in the world. We must be we are proud. We say it, wine, dine, and everything things. That's fine. But true Shradhanjali will be here. We act and we do it for India. And thank you. And God bless Dada's soul. My sincere condolences to the Daswani family. I'm greatly indebted to him for his counsel, his help and guidance. Jai Jhulelal.
Jai Jhulelal. Thank you, Dr. Dayal Mishri ji. Wherever you are in the world, I'm going to please request everyone, as we all know Dada was a man of action, to please join us with all your love and let us all pray together with Miss Kajal Chandiramani. Let us all join her, and of course with that pure love, truly, truly remember Dada and thank him for everything he's given to every beautiful soul in this world. Kajal ji, Jai Jhulelal, Dada Sham.
Jai Jhulelal. I had the honor and privilege of meeting Dada. 2007 में सिंधी सम्मेलन सिंगापुर में थियो हो. तॾहिं मां पहिरों दफ़ो दादा सां मिली हुअसि ऐं उन खां पोइ चङनि ई सम्मेलन्स में दादा सां मुंहिंजी वाक़फ़ियत वधी हुई. तमामु सरल इंसान. ही वॉज अ जेंटल हम्बल सोल. लास्ट ईयर बि मूंसां फ़ोन ते ॻाल्हायो हुओ. कुझु जीअं सभु चवनि था, समथिंग कंसर्निंग सिंधियत अगेन. सो दैट वॉज द लास्ट टाइम आई स्पोक टू हिम. मां वधीक वक़्तु न वठंदसि. हार्टफेल्ट कंडोलेंसिस टू द फैमिली एंड उन्हनि जी आत्मा खे प्रभु पंहिंजे चरणनि में निवास बख़्शे. 2-3 भॼन उन्हनि जे चरणनि में अर्पण कंदसि. शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिव स्वरूपोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिव स्वरूपोऽहं नित्योऽहं शुद्धोऽहं बुद्धोऽहं मुक्तोऽहं ब्रह्मोऽहं ब्रह्मोऽहं ब्रह्म स्वरूपोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिव स्वरूपोऽहम् अमर आत्मा सच्चिदानंद मैं हूँ. अमर आत्मा सच्चिदानंद मैं हूँ. शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहम् अखिल विश्व का जो परमात्मा है, सभी प्राणियों का शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् जिससे शास्त्र पाठे न अग्नि जलाए, जिससे शास्त्र पाठे न अग्नि जलाए, गलाए न पानी न मृत्यु मिटाए, वही आत्मा सच्चिदानंद मैं हूँ। शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहम् अमर आत्मा है मरणशील काया, सभी प्राणियों के जो भीतर समाया, वही आत्मा सच्चिदानंद मैं हूँ। शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहम् अमर आत्मा सच्चिदानंद मैं हूँ। शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं 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 Everybody join me in this beautiful prayer. Satnam Sri Vaheguru, Satnam Sri Vaheguru, Satnam Sri Vaheguru, Satnam Sri Vaheguru, यही नाम है सहारा, यही नाम है आधारा, यही नाम
है सहारा,
यही नाम है आधारा, सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु यही नाम है सहारा यही नाम है आधारा सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना दूर अज्ञान के हो अंधेरे तो हमें ज्ञान की रोशनी दे हर बुराई से बचते रहे हम हर बुराई से बचते रहे हम जितनी भी दे भली जिंदगी दे बैर होना किसी का किसी से भावना मन में बदले की होना हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना हम न सोचे हमें क्या मिला है हम ये सोचे किया क्या है अर्पण हम न सोचे हमें क्या मिला है हम ये सोचे किया क्या है अर्पण फूल खुशियों के बांटे सभी को फूल खुशियों के बांटे सभी को सबका जीवन भी बन जाए मधुबन हो अपनी करुणा का जल तू बहा के कर दे पावन हर एक मन का कोना हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता मन का विश्वास कमजोर
Jai Jhulelal,
जय झूलेलाल
Dada Sham, Hari Om. With the love and prayers, we are truly thankful to you, Kajalji. Thank you so much.
थैंक यू
May we please now request Prakash Hinduja sir. We just saw you here in case you've logged in again. Please.
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Jai Jhulelal. Hari
Jai
Om.
Jhulelal. I'm so sorry to hear about the great personality of Sindhi community, Dada Daswani, who passed away, who had contributed so much for the Sindhi community. He was a great inspiration to the Sindhi community, especially for AGSA and Ramola ji, and also Dada, Dato Shah, Dayal Mishri, who had great attachment to him. And of course, my brother must have met with him when he came to Singapore. And this, I would say that one should create a book of his values. And I will request AGSA that all his values can be brought into a book and his values can be circulated to the new Sindhi generation, so that at least his values and his thoughts, what he contributed to the Sindhi community, can always be remembered. And he is with us, and his soul and his blessings will give a new inspiration to the new generation to start with. I would like to thank very much AGSA for informing me, and I think we should always continue this Shradhanjali programs for the Sindhis who have been contributing so much for our Sindhi world all around the world, who have shared with us all his values and thoughts. I have been attending a lot of Sindhi programs in San Francisco, in Indore, and various places in Hong Kong and Singapore as well. And lastly, in Malaysia also, I was with Dato and with this Barcelona with Sindhi Sammelans. And I am so happy that Sindhi world is growing in a big way. And we always remember Dada Daswani's values so that it continues on, and we should remember him, and his values should be shared with everybody. Thank you very much. And I hope my condolence I will convey to all his family members, so that Singapore can be more and more have Sindhi Sammelans and remember and have the values of the Sindhi world in Singapore. Thank you very much. God bless you. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Humble thanks to you, Prakash sir, for telling us that AGSA should really have this legacy, what he's given to the world. Datuk Shah Lalchand Ranai ji, what would you like to say? We should definitely talk about the values and the inspiration that he's given to every generation, all the three generations.
Dada Prakash Hinduja, first of all, thank you for attending this event, and really highly appreciate. And I like the wisdom word that we just said to us, that AGSA should come out with a book of Dada Arjan. It's a good suggestion. I will bring this idea to my board members and we will work on it. I think I would like to say thank you again for attending for this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Humble thanks, Prakash
Thank you,
sir.
Datuji.
Dato ji. May we please request Mr. Vashi Khilani ji from Singapore to share the beautiful memories with Dada, please. Vashi Khilani ji.
जय झूलेलाल
Jai Jhulelal.
मूंखे चङो यादि आहे त मां सिंगापुर में जेॾी महिल दादा सां पहिरीं मिलियो हुउसि 2006 में. That time he was very keen to unite, he told me, unite all the Sindhis in the world. And he was very happy that the American Alliance of Sindhi Associations at that time was that, where was happy to do a Sammelan in Singapore in the year 2007. For some reason, he asked me to take charge of the Sammelan to make sure it's a success. And I say, okay, I don't know anything much about Sammelan, but I think I see your dedication and your devotion to it. I will do my best. As I got to know more about it and how big a project it is, then we both of us approached the then president of the Singapore Sindhi Association. And, we got fantastic, I think, one of the best Sammelans probably in the world. Everybody who came here was really happy, went off very well, and I played my small part in it. And of course, the key person to initiate it was Dada. I remember that very clearly. And he continued to do it. I remember that sometime he was not well. Then he would say he wants to meet me. I say, okay, Dada, I'll come over to your place. No problem. Since you are not well. He said, no, no, no. You sit in your office. I will come over with my helper and I will bring the Sindhi khado to you. We can have Sindhi lunch together in your office and then we'll talk. See, he was so forthcoming, so proactive that really, gave me a very good example of when you want to get things done, you must go forward to the person. You don't wait for them to come to you. So that's one golden principle I really picked up from him. And I'm really happy to have had such a, now 15 years experience with him. We have come together. He always respected me, and I always truly looked up to him and said that this guy, this Dada Arjan is really totally 100% in fully out, all out to unite the Sindhis. And one of the things he understood, and we both talked about it, is that we need the Sindhi language to help us to unite the Sindhis. That is very, very important. In fact, both of us even tried to talk to the Ministry of Education in Singapore to see whether we could get Sindhi accepted as one of the languages that the schools could teach. Unfortunately, we were not successful because at that time, there were not many resources of Sindhi educational books and all that we could tell the ministry that we could follow and therefore set up. But anyway, we both tried and we did a lot of things together. And I really remember how wonderful, how proactive, how, he went all out. Even he was sick also, like you all know, he was in bed and he still was very keen to ensure that things go well on, that things can really progress. And he didn't wait for others. That's the one other thing you must understand. He never wait for others. He went forward to them. However sick, like in the wheelchair or whatever, he went forward. Even he's in the bed, he went forward. He always told me, Mashi, you have to make sure that these things carry on. It's very, very important. And I understood from him, and I really appreciate it. Looking back, I think he has been one of my real good Sindhi guru who has shown me how important it is to unite Sindhis. I really thank him, and I pray that he will be forever blessed with eternal peace at the divine lotus feet of our dearest beloved Bhagwan. And I'm very, very sure that if he ever takes birth again, he will be a Mahatma of Sindhi. Jai Jhulelal.
Jai Jhulelal. Sir, you really said that, and thank you for sharing the golden principles with us. And we still remember, even in AGSA show, we would tell him, sir, you want to come early, because he used to come from the hospital. But he said, no, I'm fine, I'm fit and healthy. And it is unbelievable. I mean, thank you, Vinod Daswani ji is here with us. I mean, wow, really, really the true Sindhi hero. Maybe please request from Philippines, Mr. Ram Seetal Das ji, please, to kindly share with us.
Jai Jhulelal.
Jai Jhulelal, sir.
Can everybody hear me?
Very well. Thank you, sir.
First of all, I would like to thank Datuk Shah Lalchand Ranai for arranging this beautiful Shradhanjali. Datuk, thank you very much for taking care of this. Nobody in the world from his hospital bed will work so hard as what Dada Arjan did. He would always speak to everybody from his bed. He was a great person. I had met him in 2007 in Singapore, Sammelan. I was invited there by Coots Bank. I did not know what the Sammelan is for. After I met him, he would always go after me that, Ram, we have to do something about it in Asian countries. America, people are very far away in America. That's why the Sammelan takes place in America in different cities. But we from Asia should do something together. He would call me up practically 2 times, 3 times a week. As what I've been hearing about the bylaws, he was after me regarding bylaws since day one. Ultimately, we would always sit down together. Even when I went to Pune, he requested me to come to his house in Pune. I sat with him over there for some time. We worked on certain bylaws. We did a lot of things together. I am very, very, very highly thankful to him. Because of him, that many people today are teaching Sermonized Sindhi to their children. And I would like to say this, that this gentleman was a very, very hardworking man. He would always make it a point, like everybody said, he was a go-getter. If he needs anything, he would really get it. Like today, you would see that even the Hind Mason, he called me up. He told me, Ram, you have to be part of this, and I want you to be part of this one. But unfortunately, because of certain health reasons, I couldn't come forward and help him. But even about 10 days ago, he told me, Ram, we are forming this group, and I want you to join this group. Number 2, he also told me that you have to hold a Sammelan in the Philippines. I told him, Dada, I will be holding a Sammelan, just give me some time, and we will surely do it because of you. And I would like to say this, that Dada was an achiever. He was a dedicated, honest person, a man of action. He would always achieve whatever he wanted. I would say this again, like what Mr. Ram Buksani from Dubai said, we have lost a Kohinoor. I agree, he was a Kohinoor. He was a go-getter. He really wanted the Sindhi community together. Even he told me that he wants to make a directory for all the Sindhis in the world. Well, because as alone he couldn't achieve, but together he can achieve a lot of things. And I would like to also request AGSA, if possible, this Hind Mason, we can find something big or make something monument or something for Dada. For Dada, I would appreciate it very much. On behalf of the Philippine Sindhis, I would like to pass my deepest condolences to the Daswani and Advani family. And I would also like to say this, Dada, I love you. May you rest in peace. Thank you.
Jai Julilal, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
May we please request Mr. Mahadev Rana from Malaysia for memory.
Yeah. Thank you. Jai Julilal.
Jai Julilal.
Dada was one man who cannot be forgotten. My first meeting with him was some 40 over years when he came to Kuala Lumpur on a reciprocal club membership. And he was having some problem with the committee members there. And as I was also a committee member, I intervened and he was demanding the reciprocal rights that should be given to him. And the other member was not realizing that it should be given. Anyway, to cut the story short, we introduced ourselves, and since then, 40 over years ago, we have been in touch. And what most about him, people think would say that he was stubborn. But no, he was not stubborn. He was firm about what he wanted. And this training, he told me one day in confidential that he used to work for Modern Sales Store. And Mr. Kishan Chand, the proprietor of the store, was a very strict man, and he wanted whatever he asked for, he wanted results. Anyway, as things went on, I had the opportunity of attending the seminar in Singapore. And we got into a very deep discussion about the association, Alliance Association, where all of them were American members, and the Dada Daswani was the only one. I said, if you need to make this thing to grow, we must have a global situation. And he took that point so seriously, and as said by our Dayal Shri, and that he worked on it and came out with his bylaws. And now it is really a truly global association of the Sindhis. We will miss him very dearly, and what he has done for the community, I hope even somebody does 25% of it, I think he should consider himself, he has done something. My sincere, heartfelt condolence to the direct family, immediate family, and a loss in particular, and in general, we have lost a great man, and we hope someday that his memories will remain with the community forever. Thank you.
Jai Jhulelal, Mr. Mahadev Ranai ji. We have with us AGSA Executive Vice President Manohar Dev sir. Jai Jhulelal, Manohar Dev sir.
My greetings to all my friends. Dada Arjan Daswani. When I say this, I can feel his presence. I can see him lying on the bed, his mind constantly working for something about Sindhiyat, and then calling someone and discussing with him about Sindhiyat only. He called me last on 23rd of June, hardly 11 days before he breathed his last. Therefore, I am not really in a position to accept the man who was always active, and till he breathed last, he was thinking about Sindhiyat and always discussing the issues with somebody in AGSA or maybe outside AGSA. So he was with us, he will remain with us, and he is with us. And his personality, to me, he was a great person, and like a tunnel, which has only one direction, and it was Sindhiyat, and only Sindhiyat. And he wouldn't think anything else about Sindhiyat. My relations with Dada Arjan Daswani were so complex. He loved me like a son. And like his son, I used to at times fight with him on different issues. When nobody will say anything, I will come out even in AGSA board meetings and point out things with him. But like a senior member, like a father, he will call me back in the evening and discuss with me again on the same issue. Either he would convince me or I would convince him. And that's the system it worked. And that's how he called me last on 23rd of June. And I can never forget his last discussion with me on that day. He was so exuberant, full with energy. And the energy in this man, it was like a powerhouse. And how can you accept that the man is no more with us? Dada Arjan Daswani, like in Sanskrit, we have Maharshi Panini, who gave us Vyakaran. So Dada Arjan Daswani, even 100 years after, will always be remembered for the Romanized script he has given to Sindhi. I have seen books published in Sindhi with Devanagari Lipi, even earlier to Arabi Lipi. So Sindhi language was earlier written in Sanskrit and Devanagari, and then came Arabi Lipi. And after that, it is Dada Arjun. He gave Romanized script to Sindhis, and this will be a kind of a lifeline. I think that it is the breath that will give us to the Sindhi language, because our generations and Sindhis settled abroad in NRI Sindhis, the youngsters, they cannot learn Arabi, they cannot learn Devanagari. It is only Romanized that will keep the Sindhi language alive. And Dada will always be remembered for this. With these words, I'm not a Jnani person, so I don't know what is Atma, Paramatma, and Atma Go Shanti, and Paramatma Ge Charano Mein Chege. So, in a very simple words, I would say Dada was a great soul, will remain a great soul, and will always be with us. And with these words, I pay my humble Shradhanjali to Dada and offer my Shradhanjali to both the families, Dada Arjan Daswani's family and Advani family. To both the families, I personally pay my humble Shradhanjali to them. Thank you so much, Samran. Thank you, Datuk Shah, for giving me this opportunity and expressing my views about Dada, who loved me like a father, and like a son. I used to love him and I used to fight with him. Thank you so much.
Jai Julelal, Manohar Devji. May we please request Mr. Moti Visa ji from Australia to kindly please be here with us. Moti Visa ji, Jai Julelal ji.
Jai Julelal. Dada Arjan Daswani, I came in contact with him in 2004. From 2004 till his passing away, we were talking every week, almost every week, sometimes twice a week. Anything he wanted to consult, he'll first ring me and get my advice, he will discuss with me. Now, I will say one thing, that Dada was eating Sindhyat, drinking Sindhyat, and sleeping Sindhyat. For him, Sindhyat was everything. He had diabetes, he had heavy diabetes. While sitting on a computer like this, he lost his legs. His legs became just like a timber. So he used to complain. Finally, after that, he lost his eyes also, because 16 hours he used to sit on the computer, and because of high diabetes, he lost his eyes. So he was on the bed, and one day he told me he was discussing some Sindhyat matter with someone, and they were not agreeing for the one thing what was discussed. So he fell down from the bed. After falling down from the bed, he broke his back. He couldn't get up. And then afterwards, he was moved to the hospital, came back from hospital, again moved to hospital. So in that process, he lost his hands also. He told me, he used to call me, he used to say, Moti, I cannot raise my hands. So my life is very, very difficult for me. And one day he rang me and he said, why didn't you pray that I should go from here? I said, Sai, I'm praying you to become okay and get up from the bed. So then anyway, then he was not getting, say, some bed in the nursing home. So because his home help, she was not helping much because she was a young girl and she didn't have that much of strength to carry him and all that. So finally he rang me and he said, should I move to nursing home or not? I said, Sai, you are saying that your home help is not able to help you much, and there you will have at least a nurse dedicated to you. He said, if they don't do, what do I do? So he was double-minded, go to the nursing home again. So that was my last talk when he spoke to me. And the day he passed away, one day before, I called and called and called. He did not answer my phone. So I don't know whether he moved to the nursing home or not. His dream is, I think we should all continue his dream. One was the Sindhi language. He was saying either Romanized or Arabic or even Devanagari. Any of the script should be adopted wherever possible. Because I used to discuss with him the Devanagari, mostly in India, everyone knows Hindi, and Devanagari is Hindi. So they can read and write. So it will be easier for everyone in India to learn the Devanagari Sindhi. So he agreed with me, and he also told me in 1856 or 1858, the Hindi, that Arabic Sindhi was imposed upon all Sindhis because we had a few different languages, written languages, just like Atwankai and Arabi, and the north was different, south was different, something like that. So finally, so he agreed that Devanagari was the original Sindhi language in a script, I would say. So, so, so we were discussing all this. So it is, I think, and the second dream was our Sindh state. Then finally joined with Hindu Sindh people, all this Mr. Manwani, and he rang me. He said, better you also join. You are supporting. I'm supporting the Hindu Sindh. I support Sindhu state, not just the city. But anyway, Arjan said, you do that first, then we will see Sindhi state also. So if these two dreams, if we can pursue, request current chairman, that Mr. Datuk Shah, if he can take it up these things, and finally this thing which I was totally involved with that was globalhindusindhi.org. We wanted to have the census of all the Sindhis living all over the world. So there, I'm promoting in my area. I would suggest request to promote in your areas also, Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, everywhere I would say that, and even in India. So after saying that, I really miss, really miss. I don't still believe that Dada is not here. He's not, I still feel that I'll get a phone call sometime. But somehow, fact is the fact. I request and I pray my Almighty God to give his soul the good position and rest in peace, and we should continue his legacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Moti Visaji. May we please request the AGSA Vice President, Mr. Murli Adnani, sir, who has decades of great relationship with Dada. Jai Jhulelal, Murli Adnani, sir.
जय झूलेलाल सभिनी सिंधियुनि खे जय झूलेलाल मुंहिंजे तरफ़ां सचुपचु तमामु दुख जी ॻाल्हि आहे अॼु असांजे विच में अर्जन दासवानी उनको आहे ऐं असां सचपच उनखे मिस करे रहिया आहियूं। हिन जेके कम कया बिल्कुलु सिंधियत जे वाधारे लाइ, ऐं ही हिकिड़ो इंडिविजुअल न हो पर हिकिड़ो इंस्टीट्यूट हो, ऐं असांजे लाइ त हिकिड़ो अनमोल रतन सिंधी हो जेको असां सिंधी समाज विञायो आहे। ऐं अक्सा त ख़ासि करे जेके सम्मेलन थींदा हुआ या जेके बि असांजा ॿिया कम अॻियां खणी हलंदा हुआसीं, हर कंहिं कम में हू भाॻ वठंदो हो, पंहिंजूं सलाहूं ॾींदो हो। त सचपच अक्सा बि असां हुनखे मिस कंदासीं ऐं सचपच ही हिकिड़ो रिप्लेसमेंट हिकिड़ो इंस्टीट्यूट आहे। ऐं हिन जा जेके कम हुआ ख़ासि करे रोमनाइज़ सिंधी, हिन जी इहा तमामु हिकु प्रिय सब्जेक्ट हो जेको स्कॉलर सां गॾु हिन वेही करे सिंधी 52 अखर, अंग्रेज़ी 26 अखर, अंग्रेज़ी 26 अखरनि खे कीअं उन ज़ेर ज़बरूं ॾेई 52 अखरनि में वावुल में कहिड़े नमूने ठाहियो, जेको अॼु वेबसाइट ते आहे। ऐं इहो अॼु वक़्त जी ज़रूरत आहे। जॾहिं सिंध हुई त अरबी सिंधी हुई, उनखां पोइ जेको असां ॾिठो अरबी सिंधी, वरी जॾहिं हिंद में आयासीं त हिंद में हिंदी बेल्ट थियो त हिंदुस्तानी बि अरबी देवनागरी बि असां उनखे अपनायो। पर अॼु वक़्तु आहे त सिंधी असां हिकिड़ा सॼे ग्लोब में वसियल आहियूं। ग्लोब हिकु तमामु हिकु नंढो थी वियो आहे ऐं हर सिंधीअ खे ॿार बच्चे खे अंग्रेज़ी अचे थी। ऐं अॼु जेको बि असांजो मॉडर्न ज़मानो आहे, टेक्नोलॉजी आहे, त सभु जेके मैसेजिस दुनिया में अचनि वञनि थियूं अंग्रेज़ीअ में अचनि थियूं। त इहो असांजे ॿारनि लाइ हिकु तमामु हिकिड़ो सवलो वसीलो थींदो सिंधियत खे अॻियां खणी अचण जो। मां त ज़ोरदार सभिनी सिंधियुनि खे अक्सा खे चवंदुसि त कहिड़े नमूने हिनखे असीं अॻियां खणी हलूं, जीअं असांजी रोमनाइज़ वाधारो करे ऐं सिंधी ॿार हुनखे अपनाइनि त असांजी सिंधियत हमेशह क़ाइमु रहंदी। सचपच दुख जी ॻाल्हि आहे, मूंखे त ईअं थो लॻे त असां वटां वियो कोन्हे, हीअ असांजे दिलनि में वसियल आहे। मूंसां 5 ॾींहं ॻाल्हायो अथसि ऐं काफ़ी टाइम में असीं रेगुलर ॻाल्हाईंदा बि हुआसीं, हिक ॿिए सां सलाहूं घणेई कंदा हुआसीं। ऐं पोयों जेके 5 ॾींहं ॻाल्हाईं त ॾाढो दिलि में दर्द होसि। त चई त मुरली हाणे मुंहिंजे रहण जी इच्छा न आहे, भॻवानु मूंखे घुराए वठे, मूंखे ॾाढी तकलीफ़ आहे, ॾाढो सेंटिमेंटल हो। ऐं ईअं चई त का बि ॻाल्हि अहिड़ी हुजे मूं तोखे हर्ट कयो हुजे त मूंखे माफ़ु कजांइ। ऐं मूंखे सम्झ में न पियो अचे त छो अॼु अहिड़े नमूने ॻाल्हाए रहियो आहे, जॾहिं असीं हमेशह पाण में तालमेल सां हलंदा हुआसीं, हिक ॿिए जूं सलाहूं ॾींदा वठंदा हुआसीं। अॼु उहो असांजे दिलनि में हमेशह रहंदो। भॻवान जे उन्हनि खे चरणनि में वासो ॾींदो। ऐं फैमिली मेंबर्स जेका बि हिन जा यार दोस्त आहिनि, जेके बि हिन जा मुर्बी आहिनि, उन्हनि खे बि ही दुख सहण जी शक्ति ॾींदो। मां पंहिंजे तरफ़ां ऐं सिंधी काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया जे तरफ़ां हिनखे श्रद्धांजलि थो ॾियां त हू जिते बि हुजे ख़ुशि हुजे, सुखी हुजे ऐं असां हमेशह हिन जे ॻाल्हियुनि खे अॻियां खणी हलूं। वॾी वॾी महिरबानी। ओम शांति। जय झूलेलाल।
ओम शांति। जय झूलेलाल। बिल्कुलु तव्हां सही चयो, असांजे दिलुनि में आहे। ऐं असांजा जेके 26 अखर आहिनि अंग्रेज़ी में, हुननि जो 52 अखरनि में हुननि जेको कयो, त हे जेकी रोमनाइज़ सिंधी आहे इहा उन्हनि जे नाले ई हूंदी। असां प्लीज़ हाणे इनवाइट करणु चाहींदासीं गुरमुख जगवानी सर खे इंडिया मां। सचो सतराम गुरमुख सर। जय झूलेलाल।
जय झूलेलाल। सचो सतराम सिमरन जी। सचो सतराम सभिनी खे जय झूलेलाल। हिन दुख भरी घड़ीअ में जंहिंमें अॼु असीं सभु जिन जिन अर्जन दास जी सां कमु कयो हुयो ऐं जंहिं हर इंसान खे जंहिं हुन सां कमु कयो आहे उनजे वात मां हिकिड़ो ई अखर निकिरंदो त सिंध अगरि तव्हां चवंदव या सिंधियत अगरि चवंदव त हिकिड़ो दादा अर्जन दास अहिड़ी शइ हो जंहिंमें पूरी सिंधियत भरियल आई। सिंधियत में सभु कुझु अची वियो, ॿोली अची वई, सफ़ाकत असांजी सब कुछ हुन शख्स जे अंदर भरियल हो। छो जो उन वक्त जॾहिं हिन जी दुख भरी ख़बर असांखे मिली त कंहिं चयो आहे सजण दिल खे धको लॻो, सजण दिल खे धचको लॻो, तुंहिंजे विछड़े जो न्यापो मिलियो, सजण दिल खे धचको लॻो, तुंहिंजे विछोड़े जो न्यापो मिलियो, तुंहिंजे विछोड़े जो न्यापो मिलियो, लुड़क लड़ी विया, लुड़क लड़ी विया, कुदरत कहिड़ो कहर कयो। चवंदा आहिनि त हिन दुनिया में, हिन फ़ानी जहान में हर इंसान मुसाफ़िर जीअं आहे, हर को पंहिंजे वारे जे इंतज़ार में वेठो हूंदो आहे। ख़बर न आहे त कंहिं वक़्तु कंहिंजे उन साह जो सॻो, जेको साह जो सॻो आहे, उहो टुटी पवे थो ऐं कुदरत उनखे पंहिंजे पाण वटि पंहिंजे चरणनि में प्रभु परमेश्वर घुराए थो वठे। उहो इंसान माज़ीअ जो ओसो थी वेंदा आहिनि। पर हीअ दादा अर्जन दास अहिड़ी शख़्सियत हो, अहिड़ी हिकिड़ी लाफ़ानी शख़्सियत आहे जो कॾहिं बि सिंधी समाज मां माज़ीअ जो ओसो नथो थी सघे। हुन सिंधी समाज लाइ जेको कुझु कयो मां रिपीट न कंदुमि। मूंखां पहिरियों असांजे दत्तुक्षा रानाई साहब, असांजी भेण रमोला जी, असांजे पंहिंजे एक्स प्रेसिडेंट दयाल मिश्री जी, लाल मोटवाणी जी, दादा मुरली जी, असांजे इंदौर मां भाषा, उन्हनि सभिनी जेके जेके बि उनजे बारे में, जब सभिनी वर्ल्ड में जेको जेको उनजे बारे में ॿुधायो, उनजी ॻाल्हि में ॿुधायो, उन मां इहा ई हिकिड़ी ज़ाहिर थिए थी ॻाल्हि त हू हिकिड़ी लासानी शख़्सियत हुई। हुन सॼी उमिरि पंहिंजी सिंधियत खे ॾिनी। पर के मौत अहिड़ा अनमुदाइता थी वेंदा आहिनि जेके असां सुगासी परिवार खे, असां सभिनी खे। अर्जन दास जे बारे में हिकिड़ी ॻाल्हि ज़रूरु चवंदुसि। मुंहिंजो 2007 में हुनजो सिंगापुर जे पहिरें सम्मेलन में मूंसां हुनजो संबंध थियो। हुन में मां हिकिड़ो शख़्सियत में हिकिड़ो जनून ॾिठो। हूअं चवंदा आहिनि त जेको माण्हू फ़ैसिला पहिरियों कंदो आहे पोइ उन ते अमल कंदो आहे। भई फ़ैसिलो कयो मूं ही कमु करिणो आहे, मूं कयो। ही उहा शख़्सियत हुई जेका अमल पहिरियों कंदी हुई ऐं चवंदो हो त फ़ैसिला पाण ई थींदा, जॾहिं मां कमु कंदुमि त पाण ई फ़ैसिला थींदा। अहिड़ी शख़्सियत हिन दुनिया में तमामु घटि थी। वरी शायदि अर्जन दास जहिड़ा जेके सिंधियत जा शिदाई सचा सिपाही हिन दुनिया में वरी न ईंदा। दादा जन जूं घणियूं ॻाल्हियूं सभिनी ॿुधायूं त दादा जा कम अहिड़ा हुया जेका सभिनी ॻाल्हि कई त हिन उमिरि में बि व्हील चेयर ते वेही बि इहो छो, इहो इन करे हुन सिंधु धरतीअ जो, सिंधु माता जो, सिंधु नदीअ जो पाणी पीतो ऐं असां सिंधियुनि जे डीएनए में जंहिंमें सिंधु माता जो पाणी आहे, उहो अहिड़ो ई दादा वांगुरु जवान, विद्वान, वीर थींदो जेको सिंधियत जी शेवा करे। मां हिन दुख भरी घड़ीअ ते दादा जन जे कुटुंब परिवार खे, मूंखे ॾुख हिकिड़ी ॻाल्हि जो रहंदो सॼी उमिरि त कॾहिं बि कोई मुंहिंजे घर में फंक्शन हुजे, ॾियारी हुजे, होली हुजे, बर्थडे हुजे, दादा जी मूंखे ईमेल ज़रूरु ईंदी ऐं सभिनी खे ईंदी हूंदी। मां भायां थो दादा कंहिंखे न विसारींदो हुयो, नंढो हुजे, वॾो हुजे, बुज़ुर्ग हुजे, नंढनि सां नंढनि जहिड़ो ॻाल्हाईंदो, वॾनि सां वॾनि जहिड़ो ॻाल्हाईंदो ऐं संत महात्मा सां, संतनि महात्मा सां एॾी इज़त सां पेश ईंदो हुयो जो मूंखे साईं साधराम सां गॾु ॾिठो आहे, मां हुनखे सभिनी संतनि सां गॾु ॾिठो आहे। अहिड़ी लाजवाब शख़्सियत जेका असां विच में पंहिंजो वारो वॼाए, हिन दुनिया में पंहिंजो दमको वॼाए, इहो ॿुधाए त मां सिंधी आहियां, मां सिंधियुनि लाइ छा छा कयो आहे। अहिड़ी शख़्सियत खे अॼु श्रद्धांजलि त ॾाढो हिकिड़ो नंढिड़ो वर्ड आहे। श्रद्धांजलि उनखे ॾिबी आहे जेके हिन दुनिया में हलिया वेंदा आहिनि, असांखे विसरींदा आहिनि। दादा तव्हां असांखां विछड़िया ज़रूरु आहे, पर दादा तव्हां असांखां विसरिया न आहियो। असां जेसि ताईं जीअरा आहियूं असांखे इहा ख़बर आहे जिते बि का सिंधियत जी ॻाल्हि निकिरंदी त उते असांजे दादा अर्जुन दासवाणी जो ज़रूरु ज़िक्र ईंदो ऐं इहा ई हुनजी सची कुर्बानी आहे। मां मुंहिंजे कुटुंब परिवार खे हिकिड़ी वेनिती थो करणु चाहियां, असांखे बि पंहिंजे अक्सा खे बि जीअं असांजे प्रकाश हिंदुजा जी जेकी कई, इहा ई वेनिती थो करणु चाहियां त जेको कुझु हुननि अधूरो कमु छॾियो आहे, जंहिं राह ते हू हली रहिया हुआ, उन राह ते जेको कमु अधूरो रहियल आहे, उनजे कुटुंब परिवार खे हिन घड़ी में इहा ई वेनिती कंदुमि हिकु त तव्हांखे सचो साईं सतराम दास हीअ दुख सहण जी शक्ति ॾे ऐं एतिरी ताक़त ॾे जो तव्हां हुनजे अधूरे कमनि खे पूरो कयो। इहो ई असांजी हिकिड़ी सची श्रद्धांजलि थींदी उन दादा लाइ। मां वरी हिकु दफ़ो अक्सा वारनि जो, तव्हां सभिनी जो जेके बि तव्हां हिते आया हो, एतिरो ई चवंदुमि हिकिड़ो रियल सिंधी, हिकिड़ो सिंधियत जो सचो सिपाही असांखां निकिरी वियो। शाह साहिब जे हिकिड़े बैत सां शाह अब्दुल लतीफ़ साहिब बेटा ई चयो आहे, मौत पवे तो में मौत जो आहीं ओचितो, मौत तुम्हें पवे मौत जो आए ओछतो, घणा गूंदड़ घाए अर्धा अण मौत, घणा गूंदड़ गाए अर्धा अण मौत, लाड़ो करे हाँ लतीफ़ चए के ॿी जाइ ते त न पवई आ खोट, घाए उहे घोट जिनजी मुंद न हुई मरण जी। दादा जी उमिरि भले केतिरी हुई पर हुनजी मुंद असां खां जुदा थियण जी न हुई, छो जो हू दिलि सां दिमाग़ सां जवान हुयो ऐं असां सां सदाईं गॾु। तव्हां सभिनी जो हिकु दफ़ो वरी महिरबानी दादा जन जे चरणनि में नमन कंदे सचे सतगुरु साईं मुंहिंजे ॾिसनि था वेठा त उनखे पंहिंजे चरणनि में वास हुजनि ऐं वरी हिकु दफ़ो मुंहिंजे परिवार में ॿियो अर्जन दास पैदा। महिरबानी सभिनी जी महिरबानी।
सचो सतराम गुरमुख जरवानी सर। हाणे असां प्लीज़ इनवाइट था कयूं ताइवान मां नारी फिलवानी जी, जेके जाम जाम क्लोज़ हुया दादा सां गॾु वरी, त नारी जी प्लीज़ तव्हां असांखे ॿुधायो।
जय झूलेलाल।
जय झूलेलाल।
साध संगत जेकी हिते वेठी आहे हिन श्रद्धांजलि सम्मेलन में मां दातुक साहब जो बधाई थो ॾियां कि हिननि इहो समारोह रखियो। सिंधी जगत जो हिकु अहिड़ो कर्मयोगी सितारो असां सभिनि खे छॾे करे हिन निरंकार में लीन थी वियो। अहिड़ो सितारो जे पंहिंजी अध खां वधीक ज़िंदगी हिन समाज खे जोड़ण में, मिलाइण में, मदद करण में ऐं भाषा खे नए रूप में खणी अचण में जेको योगदान रखियो उनखे अॼु बि सिंधी समाज कॾहिं बि न भुलाए सघंदो। अहिड़े संत खे असां सभी ताइवान जी तरफ़ां, इंडियन एसोसिएशन ऑफ ताइवान जी तरफ़ां, सिंधु वेलफेयर सोसाइटी जयपुर जी तरफ़ां ऐं भारतीय जनता पार्टी विदेश विभाग राजस्थान जी तरफ़ां असां शोक था प्रकट कयूं ऐं निरंकार खे प्रार्थना था कयूं कि हिन दुख जी सहण जी शक्ति उन परिवार खां गॾु गॾु हिन सिंधी समाज खे बि ॾे जंहिं हिकु अहिड़ो कोहिनूर गुम कयो आहे। दादा हिकु भीष्म पितामह हो। अगरि अॼु सभु मिली करे इहा बि चऊं त ग़लति न थींदो कि ज़िंदगी जे आख़िरी वक़्त ताईं समाज जे बारे में सम्झणु, समाज जे बारे में सोचणु, मिली करे रहणु ऐं हिंद में सिंध ठहे इन जी प्रेरणा ॾिनी। मां दादा सां जॾहिं मलेशिया में सम्मेलन थियो त मूंखे चई नारी तूं अच। मां उते वियुसि, मां ॾिसी करे हैरान थी वियुसि कि जंहिंजी आवाज़ अहिड़ी बुलंद ऐं अॼु बि तबियत ठीकु न हुजण खां पोइ हिन सम्मेलन में आया आहिनि। मूंखे चवंदो नारी सिंधी समाज लाइ कुझु करिणो आहे। मां चवंदो दादा हुकुम कयो। घणी मूंसां ॻाल्हियूं करे विया। कुझु ॾींहं पहिरीं हिकिड़ी ॻाल्हि थी, क़रीब साल खनि पहिरीं जी ॻाल्हि अथव, त मूंखे हिकिड़ी ॻाल्हि अहिड़ी चई विया आहिनि जेकी मां सभिनी सां शेयर थो करणु चाहियां। चई नारी ज़िंदगी ऐं मौत असांजे हथ में कान्हे, असांजे हथ में आहे विच जो समय। हुन विच जे समय में असां हिन समाज खे छा था ॾेई सघूं, अहिड़ो कहिड़ो कमु करे सघूं था, कीअं उन्हनि खे जोड़े सघूं था, कीअं उन्हनि खे अॻियां वठी करे हली सघूं था ताकि हीउ समाज गॾिजी हले। असां हिन दुनिया में वञूं त माण्हू यादि रखनि वाक़ई में अॼु ही कोहिनूर भले ॾिसण में वियोली आहे, ही उहो दीपक आहे जेको जलंदो रहियो। माण्हू सम्झंदा आहिनि विसामजी वियो आहे, न, उनजी अॼु बि रोशनी असांजे सिंधी समाज खे ॾींदी रहंदी। साथ संगत असांजी असली श्रद्धांजलि तॾहिं थींदी जॾहिं असां हिन हिंद में सिंध ठाहियूं, अहिड़ो सिंध ठाहियूं जेकी असांजी बि इच्छा हुई ॾिसण जी, असां न ॾिसी सघिया आहियूं। हींअर हिकिड़ी सोसाइटी पंहिंजी सिंधु जागृत सोसाइटी थी आहे जेकी हिंद में सिंध ठाहिण जी कच्छ जे अंदरि कई आहे। मां सभिनि खे संगत खे वेठी आहे जेकी चरण में निवेदन थो कयां त असां सभु गॾिजी करे दादा जे असली श्रद्धांजलि आहे कि हिंद में जेको सिंध ठहे असां अची ठाहियूं। मां एतिरो ई चवंदुसि। मां ॿ लाइनूं ॻाइण थो चाहियां अगरि इजाज़त हुजे सिमरन जी।
हाँ जी 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 प्लीज चओ सर।
कच्छ में ओ कच्छ में त सिंध ही ठवंदो, दादा जो ही सपनो सभु पूरो थींदो। अचो सभु गॾिजूं हिंद में सिंध ठाहियूं, अचो सभु गॾिजूं हिंद में सिंध ठाहियूं। जय झूलेलाल।
जय झूलेलाल। दादा जो इहो विजन ज़रूर पूरो थींदो तव्हां सभु असां सां गॾु आहियो एंड ऑफ कोर्स केतिरो इंस्पायर कयो अथनि हुननि सभिनी जनरेशन्स खे कि दादा जो विजन ज़रूरु पूरो थींदो। मां प्लीज़ रिक्वेस्ट कंदमि राखी मैम खे, राखी सजनानी जी जेके कैनेडा मां असां सां गॾु हिते जुड़ियल आहिनि, प्लीज़। जय झूलेलाल राखी जी।
Thank you. Dr. Meshri, you are so right in saying that it would have been wonderful if Dada Arjan could hear all these accolades, all these wonderful things about his dreams and his visions. And we will honor that. Early in the year 2000, I was just Googling the word Sindhi on the internet. And to my surprise, I came across the link for Sindhi Sammelan. I had never heard of that word before. And my curiosity led me to click on the link. Even more surprising was the fact that this Sindhi Sammelan was going to be in Singapore. Being always curious to connect with Sindhis anywhere in the world, I clicked on the contact name for the Sammelan, and it happened to be Dada Arjan Daswani. I sent him an email introducing myself and my desire to volunteer in any capacity, which he promptly responded with respect and dignity, as was his style. He managed to persuade me to make a presentation on matrimonials for the young adults during the Sindhi Sammelan in Singapore. I first met Dada Arjan face to face when he welcomed me on the first day of the Sindhi Sammelan in Singapore on 27th of July 2007. And that was the beginning of a friendship that I really treasure and value, and today I value it even more. It was in spite of his physical handicaps, he kept in touch by email, by WhatsApp, and phone calls. He would often talk about his passion for promoting the Sindhi language and the Romanized Sindhi script project, which he spearheaded. And I met Dada Arjan a couple of times with his helper in Singapore. And whenever I went back to Malaysia or Singapore, I would inform him of my visit, and in spite of his handicaps, he would go all out of the way to meet me at the Sindhu house or at the home of Uncle Ram Khubchandani, who happens to be my mother-in-law's brother. And he would often talk about his relationship, his friendship with my mother-in-law's family from Sindh. And he had lots and lots of stories to talk about Sindh. He was even willing to come all the way to Kuala Lumpur to meet me whenever I was in Malaysia, if I couldn't make it to Singapore. I can't believe, listening to all of you, how he could pay so much individual attention to everyone. He considered me his younger sister, and I'm lost for words. Sometime earlier this year, I introduced him to Bhau Mahesh Bhatia, one of our Sindhi Association board members here, who is equally passionate about promoting the Sindhi language globally. And Mahesh too was very impressed. He said, I have never met a person with such sincerity and passion about our Sindhis as Dada Arjan. My last phone conversation with Dada was about 2 weeks ago while he was in his hospital bed. And many of you have mentioned about him being in hospital and how he was saying that he was in so much pain and that he just wanted to leave. He wanted to go. And I kept telling him, Dada, why are you saying this? Dada was a man of noble convictions and love for Sindhi culture and language. I will miss him. The passing of this Kohinoor has left a large void in AGSA. God bless Dada Arjan in his new heavenly abode with his creator God. Om Shanti. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this time to speak. Amen.
Om Shanti. Ms. Rakhi Sajnani ji, may we please request AGSA Vice President, Mr. Satish Rai Singhani ji and Nisha Rai Singhani ma'am, please, for the Shradhanjali.
Jai Julelal.
Jai Julelal.
Dosto, first of all, I'm thankful to Mr. Datuksha for arranging this Shradhanjali program, and also respect to all my board members and respected guests who has joined the Shradhanjali program. First of all, Asanjo Dada, Hiku, Suno Sindhi, Sacho Sindhi, and Sindhya the jo pyar waro Sindhi Asanjo Dada. Dada sa badi agme minjo vartalap thyo last weeks में the rose दादा सा गालियों थी जो कुछ उन्हनि जो पर्सनल साहब जे हिसाब सां दादा खुश हुआ त चई मुंहिंजो बदन खे थोरो ठीकु करण लाइ मां ॿिए हंधि थो वञा ॿिए इन हॉस्पिटल में जिते मुंहिंजे बदन जी टेक केयर कंदा ऐं हमेशह हुनजी दिलि जवान हमेशह हुनजो माइंड प्रॉपर माइंड ऐं हमेशह पंहिंजे सिंधियत लाइ प्यार एॾा प्रोजेक्ट्स एॾियूं ॻाल्हियूं हमेशह हुननि जे ध्यान में हूंदियूं सभ खां पहिरीं जेको सभिनी तव्हांखे ॿुधायो त रोमनाइज़ सिंधी हिकु क़िस्म जी असांखे सिंधियुनि खे सॼी सिंधी समाज खे असांखे गिफ्ट ॾेई विया आहिनि जेके असांजूं जनरेशन टू कम दे विल लर्न सिंधी एंड दे रेस्पेक्ट असांजी सिंधी लैंग्वेज इन सां गॾु दादा जो जेको सुपिनो हिंद में सिंध जेको आहे इन में बि हिननि डे वन खां वठी पार्टिसिपेट कयो पंहिंजूं ॻाल्हियूं पंहिंजूं आइडियाऊं पंहिंजो ज्ञान असांखे ॾींदा विया भई हिन हिसाब सां असांखे करिणो आहे ऐं मां थैंकफुल आहियां असांजे दादा जो जेको हिननि असांखे सुठी राह ॾेखारी ऐं कीअं असां सिंधियुनि खे पंहिंजूं शेवाऊं ॾेई सघूं था ऐं असांजी सिंधियत ज़िंदह रखी सघूं था हिन जे दादा जे ब्लड में कण कण में सिंधियुनि जे लाइ शेवा हुई सिंधियत लाइ प्यार हो इहो ई हमेशह लाइ ही असांखे ॾेई विया आहिनि ऐं असांखे ॾाढो होमवर्क ॾेई विया आहिनि जेके हिननि जूं दिलि जूं ॻाल्हियूं हुयूं जेके हिननि जा उमंग हुआ जेके हिननि जा सपना हुआ इहे असां सभिनी खे पूरन करण लाइ ॾेई विया आहिनि त ज़रूरु अक्सा असां सां गॾु आहे ऐं इन सां गॾु हिंद में सिंध असां ज़रूरु हिननि खे करे ॾेखारींदासीं ऐं दादा जूं आशीर्वादूं हमेशह असां सां गॾु आहिनि इन्हनि ई अखरनि सां मां निरंकार खे प्रसाद कंदुसि त हिननि जे चरणनि में दादा खे रखनि ऐं हिन जे सोल खे पंहिंजे सां गॾु गॾिजाइनि ऐं हिननि खे मोक्ष प्राप्त थिए साध संगत जी धन्यकार
I'll continue, Simran.
Sure, Nisha ma'am.
Yeah. Simran, thank you so much for conducting it so well. And Rajesh Nagpal ji and Tuksha, thank you so much for collecting all of us from global world. And Sasabni ke Jonal Jilai, thank you so much. Ma sabin ji abhari aaya. And of course, Dada will always remain with us. Physically, hali vyayin, but the body is mortal, but the soul is immortal. He's with us. असांखे एतिरियूं सभु ॻाल्हियूं असांखे सेखारे विया आहिनि ही वॉज मोटर ऑफ AGSA इंजन हुआ ऐं असांखे उहो डायरेक्शन ॾेई विया आहिनि हाउ टू गो अबाउट ऐं सॼी पंहिंजी सिंधियत खे कीअं उथारे खड़ो करिणो आहे पंहिंजी जेका असांजी हीअ जनरेशन पंहिंजे सिंध मां थोरी थोरी सिंध खणी आया पंहिंजी दिलियुनि में ऐं असांखे अची उहा ॾिनी अथऊं ऐं असां सभिनी में एतिरो उमंग भरियो अथऊं की असांखे हिन राह ते अॻियां वधिणो आहे एंड जेका ॻाल्हि सभिनी चई रोमनाइज़ सिंधी तमामु ज़रूरी आहे बिकॉज़ जीअं कंप्यूटराइज़ लैंग्वेज आहे जीअं डिजिटल लैंग्वेज आहे त असांखे उन ते वधीक ध्यानु ॾियणो आहे की जीअं असांजा जेके बुक्स जेके ट्रांसलेट थींदा त रोमनाइज़ सिंधी में बि ट्रांसलेट थियनि जीअं की असांजी जेका ॿारनि खे या असांखे सिंधी ॻाल्हाइणु अचे थी पई पर केतिरनि खे लिखणु नथी अचे या पढ़णु नथी अचे त रोमनाइज़ सिंधी जे करे असांजा ॿार असांजी जनरेशन वारा जेके ग्लोबली असां जिन खे सिंधी लिखणु पढ़णु नथो अचे उहो पढ़ी सघंदासीं ऐं उन खां पोइ वी कैरी फॉरवर्ड and update करे सकबो. Because of the Romanized language, we can update our Sindhi जेको सॼो heritage आहे, जेका legacy आहे. And असांजा ॿार मां घणो करे सम्झां थी सभई क्यूरियस आहिनि, बिकॉज़ सिंधी जेका सभ्यता आहे तमामु ऊची सभ्यता आहे ऐं हुनजी हाणे असां सभिनी खे ख़बर पई आहे, असांजा सभिनी जा ॿार क्यूरियस आहिनि टू टच द रूट्स. सो रोमनाइज़ सिंधी अची वेंदी त इट विल बी अ बिग रेवोल्यूशन. दादा हिन जी पहल कई आहे, वी आर वेरी थैंकफुल. एंड उन्हनि जेका जोत जलाई आहे असांखे कोशिशि करणी आहे उनखे वॾो भंभट ठाहिण जी. As Murli uncle also said, he was institute. उन इंस्टीट्यूट जा प्रिंसिपल हुआ, उहे असांखे उहे ॻाल्हियूं सभु सेखारे विया आहिनि, उहे सिलेबस ठाहे विया आहिनि. वी हैव टू मूव ऑन इट. जेको हुननि ॻाल्हियूं कयूं आहिनि. सिंध में हिंद वॉज दादास ड्रीम ऐं मां सम्झां थी असां सभिनी जो ड्रीम आहे. ऐं हिकु जेको सेंट्रिक असांजो हेरिटेज जो विलेज या सिंध जो नंढो सो जेको स्टेट ठहंदो, इट विल बी अ ग्रेट अचीवमेंट. ऐं मां सभिनी खे गुज़ारिश कंदसि कि असां मिली करे सभई दादा जो सुपिनो पूरो कयूं. एंड उन खां सवाइ जेको हुननि जी दिलि हुई कि सिंधी सभई ग्लोबली असां डायरेक्टरी ठाहियूं पंहिंजी. सिंधी सेंसस में जेको असांजो आहे, सिंधीज़ आर सच अ रिच कम्युनिटी. अॼु जीअं अमेरिका में जीअं जनरल मोटर खे कुझु थिए थो, अमेरिका हिली थी वञे, सिंधीज़ आर दैट काइंड ऑफ अ कम्युनिटी. वी आर बिज़नेस पीपल एंड वेरी स्मार्ट पीपल. एंड असां सॼी दुनिया में आहियूं. इहो ॾाढो घणो फ़ाइदे जो ॻाल्हि आहे. हिनखे सॼो ध्यान सां सोचिजे त असां सभई जुड़ियल आहियूं सिंधियत जे करे, असां सिंधी हुअण जे करे असां ग्लोबली जुड़ियल आहियूं. जीअं वॾियूं वॾियूं कंपनीज़ लाइक एप्पल, गूगल या जनरल मोटर्स जॾहिं कुझु डिसीजन थियूं खणनि त सॼी वर्ल्ड में इफेक्ट अचे थो. अहिड़ो ई इफेक्ट सिंधियुनि जो थी सघे थो, इहो दादा चवंदा हुआ. दादा हमेशह असां यंगस्टर्स खे ॿारनि वांगुरु सम्झाईंदा हुआ. जीअं राखी जी चयो, कोई बि नयो माण्हू अची वेंदो हो त हुनखे एनकरेज कंदा हुआ पाण सां मिलाइण जे लाइ, कंहिं बि सिंधी खे वेझो आणण जे लाइ. यूज़ टू गो एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट. असां सभिनी वॾनि खे बि इहो एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट करिणो आहे त असां यंगर जनरेशन खे गले लॻायूं, कलाकारनि खे एंड साहित्यकारनि खे, जेके नया नया सिंधी जेके कॉमेडी आहे, स्टैंडअप कॉमेडी आहे, उनखे एनकरेज कयूं. न्यू थिएटर खे, सीरीज़ खे असां एनकरेज कयूं. दादा तमामु एनकरेजिंग हुआ. एंड आई थिंक असां में उहा ज्योति उहा जलाए विया आहिनि. एंड ही इज़ विथ अस. ऐं असां सां हमेशह गॾु रहंदा. सो मां आई एम वेरी, मूंखे दुख आहे ॾाढो, बट आई एम ऑल्सो थैंकफुल टू गॉड कि हुननि असांखे एतिरी सुठी शिक्षा ॾेई छॾी आहे कि ही इज़ अ लिविंग लेजेंड फॉर अस. ही विल ऑलवेज लिव फॉर अस. ही इज़ एन इमॉर्टल सोल. ही इज़ अ पिलर ऑफ सिंधियत. ऐं नेक्स्ट सम्मेलन में जीअं प्रकाश हिंदूजा सर चयो कि असांखे हुननि जे लाइ कुझु आर्टिकल ज़रूरु पब्लिश करणु खपे, बिकॉज़ ही इज़ लाइक भीष्म पितामह ऑफ सिंधी कम्युनिटी. एंड नेक्स्ट सम्मेलन में ज़रूरु हिन जे बारे में असां चङी तरह सेलिब्रेट कंदासीं ऑफ हिज लिविंग लाइफ. ही इज़ ऑलवेज लिविंग विथ अस एंड ही विल ऑलवेज बी विथ अस. एंड असांखे हमेशह हर हंधा असांखे गाइड कंदा रहंदा. So thank you for having us. Thank you for having this meeting. Datuk Shah ji, thank you so much for organizing this. Thank you, Simran.
जय झूलेलाल. हेॾो सुठी तरह सर चयो. असांखे होमवर्क ॾेई विया आहिनि, असां ज़रूरु कंदासीं उहो होमवर्क पूरो. असां सां गॾु मिस कमल लाला जी आहिनि, जेके अगेन असांजे आगसा फैमिली जा ऑनरी सेक्रेटरी आहिनि. एंड मे बी प्लीज वेलकम यू मिस कमल लाला जी. जय झूलेलाल.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, Datuk, for arranging all this. Everybody has said everything about Arjan Daswani, and he was very close to me I knew him since 2007, and I went through Singapore to meet him, especially because my husband was very fond of him. And Dada was also very fond of my husband. Since then, I have known him. To me, he was my brother, always called me Kamal Ban, as he does with everybody. What they all said, the Al-Mishri said, I agree that when a person is alive and he's doing all the things which Dada has done or had done, to acknowledge that and give him applause for that. And after the person is gone, person is gone. But still, I guess we remember him as he was. He was the true, his personality was amazing. He made you feel so special. I'm talking about myself. He made me feel so special. I talked to him at least twice a day. He would call me in the morning, then he'll call me in the afternoon, Singapore time. And we talked, and I used to tell him, don't worry. His last days were very critical. And I wish I had gone there, but this COVID has, stopped all of us. All I can say that I miss him as everybody else, but he was very close to me, and respect him. I loved him, and I pray to God to give him peace. And we carry on. The main thing is we carry on. We just don't talk about it. We carry on and really do our job, what he has left us to do. He made sure every day he would remind us that please do this. He would, send emails to Dayal, to Ramola, to me, to Nand, and to Datukji, that we carry on. We don't just leave it. We talk about it. He's no more with us. But the best thing we can do for him is to carry on and come to whatever he needed to do. I don't know about Sindh in Hind or how it will materialize, but we should carry on. And as I say, I miss him, and God bless him, and God bless all of you. And, very happy that AGSA, arranged this. I'm part of it, and I really miss him. There's nobody who calls me now 6 o'clock in the morning, my time. So I wish he was there still, but God bless him. He did till the last day of his life. I talked to him maybe a day before, and he said, Kamal, can you see that this is done? I said, yeah, don't worry. I'll make sure that anything he has done or put forward in AGSA's interest, that will carry on. And I hope we do. And with the youth coming in, hopefully they are being educated about this, and they can carry on his legacy. And all I can say, I love him, and I miss him. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Kamal Lalaji, your conversations with him that you shared with us. So thank you for letting us know that. And certainly we are here to do our bit. Thank you very much, Kamal Lalaji. Maybe please invite Mr. Anand Manwani ji from India, who actually started Hind Mein Sindh program, on the virtual platform. So Anand Manwani ji, Jai Jhulelal.
Jai Jhulelal. Jai Jhulelal. I'm your Om Shanti. दादा जे बारे में कुछ ॻाल्हाया हिन खां पहिरीं मां 4 शब्द चवणु चाहियां थो कि सिंध में हिंद जो ॾई संदेश, सिंध में हिंद जो ॾई संदेश, दादा तां हलिया विया। हिंद में सिंध जो ॾई संदेश, दादा तां हलिया विया। हिंद में सिंध जो ॾई संदेश, दादा तां कहिड़े ॻोठ हलिया विया, हलिया विया। हिंद में सिंध जो ॾई संदेश, दादा तां हलिया विया। हिंद में सिंध वेबिनार जे 40 प्रोग्रामनि में 30 प्रोग्रामनि में दादा असांजे शामिल रहिया ऐं असांखे मार्गदर्शन ॾींदा रहिया ऐं हुननि असांखे अहिड़ियूं ॻाल्हियूं सिखायूं, ॿुधायूं जेके असांजे मूवमेंट खे, हिंद में सिंध मूवमेंट लाइ ॾाढियूं लाभप्रद ऐं योग्य रहियूं ऐं इहो उपयोगी रहियूं। दादा हिकु ॾींहुं मूंखे फ़ोन करे चयो, मां तोखे 2 डायमंड थो ॾियां। मूं त चयो, दादा कहिड़ा डायमंड था ॾियो? चई, हिकिड़ो डायमंड अथई रमोला मोटवानी, ॿियो डायमंड अथई सतीश रायसिंघानी। इहे 2 मां तोखे ॾियां थो ऐं जेकी उमेद तूं मूं मां रखी थो हिन आंदोलन लाइ, हिंद में सिंध लाइ, उहे ही 2 पूरा कंदई। इहो दादा जी भावना हुई कि भई मुंहिंजो त तव्हांजे सां दिलो जान सां आत्मा सां मां तव्हां सां जुड़ियल आहियां, मां हुजां न हुजां मां हिन मूवमेंट सां हमेशह शामिल आहियां। ऐं दादा खे हिन जी ॾाढी चिंता हुई कि भई असां कीअं बि करे हिंद में सिंध हासिल कयूं, तॾहिं ई असांजी भाषा बचंदी, संस्कृति बचंदी ऐं सिंधियत बचंदी। त इहो हुननि जो वॾो हिकिड़ो संदेश हो। त दादा खे असां जेके श्रद्धांजलि ॾियणु चाहियूं था त उहा वॾी श्रद्धांजलि इहा थींदी कि असां जॾहिं बि को सिंधी गॾिजूं त पाण में हिकु त सिंधीअ में ॻाल्हायूं। त असांजी जेकी ॿोली जेकी आहे उहा ई असांजी आत्मा आहे ऐं उहा ई असांखे पूरी दुनिया में ॻंढे वेठी आहे, जोड़े वेठी आहे। त इहा महिरबानी मां हथ जोड़े कयां थो कि जिते असां भाउर सिंधी गॾिजूं त पाण में सिंधीअ में ॻाल्हायूं। ऐं दादा खे जेके कम असांखे दादा सौंपे विया आहिनि असीं हुनजा कम पूरा कंदासीं। दादा जेको हिकिड़ो सुठो कमु कयो कि भई ग्लोबल सिंधी हिंदू जेकी हुननि डायरेक्टरी ठाहिण जी कोशिशि कई आहे, शुरूआत कई आहे, त उहा हिकु वॾी हिकिड़ो इतिहास ठहंदो सिंधी समाज जो, पूरी जानकारी हुन में रहंदी। इहा हिकिड़ो वॾो कमु आहे, उहो दादा खे अमर करे छॾियो आहे हिन ॻाल्हि कि भई इहा ॻाल्हि ॾाढी वॾे पैमाने ते वेंदी ऐं हिन जो ॾाढो वॾो असरु थींदो अॻिते जॾहिं ही कंप्लीट थींदी डायरेक्टरी। त को बि भाउ दुनिया में किथां बि कहिड़े भाव सां ॻाल्हाए सघे थो, कनेक्ट करे सघे थो। त इहे सभु ॻाल्हियूं असांखे दादा जूं हिकु सौगात आहिनि, उपहार आहिनि, भेंट आहे दादा जी असांखे, उहा असीं कॾहिं कोन भुलंदासीं। ऐं असांजा हाणे घणेई माण्हू असांजा वीचारा भाउर जेके आहिनि वीचारा, न मतिलबु असांजा दिलो जान जा भाउर वेटिंग लिस्ट में लॻल आहिनि, इन लाइ मां वधीक टाइम न वठंदे हुए जय झूलेलाल, बेड़ा ई पार।
जय झूलेलाल आनंद सर। असां प्लीज़ रिक्वेस्ट कंदासीं असांजे आगसा जे ऑनरी ट्रेजरर नंद बेलानी सर, जेके वरी एतिरा क्लोज हुया दादा सां ऐं गाइडेंस हमेशह वठंदा हुया। नंद बेलानी सर, जय झूलेलाल।
Simran,
जी, sure.
Nand had to leave,
जी,
so
जी.
I would like to convey his message, please.
जी, please, ma'am.
Yeah. Nand is AGSA's honorary treasurer, but I call him, he's all in one. He takes care of everything. And in that process, he was so close to Arjan. In every project, he was involved with him. And they spoke very, very often. And even the communication, the contacts, bank information, everything was done through Nand. Nand had to leave, unfortunately, but obviously it's a big void for him. It's a big gap for him. And also, he is so responsible. I have no doubt in my mind that he will always do his best to make sure what is best for Arjan and what was his dream, that he will always help everyone to fulfill that. So on behalf of Nand Belani, honorary treasurer of AGSA, I also pay condolences, from heartfelt condolences, to both the families of Daswani and Advani. Thank you. Jai Jhulelal.
जय झूलेलाल रमोला मैम। हाणे असां प्लीज़ रिक्वेस्ट कंदासीं असांजे आगसा जे ऑनररी जॉइंट ट्रेजरर श्री मोहन करमचंदानी सर सां, प्लीज़। जय झूलेलाल मोहन सर।
Yeah, Jai Jhulelal. I met Dada Arjan Daswani in July of 2007 at Singapore Sammelan, Since then, we have been very close. He would call me all the time, and he called me a day before he died, And if I don't answer the phone, he'll call me on a cell phone, landline, and WhatsApp, and make sure I pick up any of the phone. But he'll get me somehow, He knew how to get it, He had amazing memory. And he was a computer genius, I mean, unbelievable. You tell him everything is computerized. He was, for his memory, for his age, I cannot believe he was so good, He'll be missed for all AGSA meetings and remembered for updating AGSA bylaws, Romanized Sindhi, Global Hindu Sindhi, Census and Connectivity. Rest in peace. Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Everybody has spoken a lot about him, so I don't want to repeat everything the same. So God bless him, and we'll miss him. And
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
May we please request Mr. S. Kumar from India.
जय झूलेलाल, जय झूलेलाल। असांजे AGSA जे प्रेसिडेंट शाह जी जेकी इहा कंडोलेंस मीटिंग लॻी ऐं सॼे दुनिया खे कनेक्ट कयां, असां उन जा ॾाढा आभारी आहियूं। सिमरन भेण, रोहित जंहिं सभिनि खे सही तरह सां जोड़े करे हलनि पियो। माण्हू त ईंदो आहे ऐं वेंदो हली आहे, इहो प्रकृति जो नियम आहे। अर्जन दासवानी असांजे में विच में अप्रकट थियो आहे, लेकिन असांखे उन जी यादां छॾे वियो। त जेको उन लाइ ॻाल्हायो सभिनि, दयाल मिस्री मोटवानी जी, मरमूला जी, सतीश राय सिंघानी जी, मनोहर देव जी, हाणे जेको बि चऊं कि अनमोल रत्न हुयो, विश्व पिताम्बर हुयो, हिकु टनेल हुयो जेको हलंदो ई रहंदो हुयो। मां ॾाढो इंस्पायर्ड थींदो हुयुमि कि हिन एज में हीअ कीअं एतिरो कष्ट करे करे बि अञा बि सिंधियत सां हिननि जो लॻाव आहे। त मां इन जे बारे में थोरी जानकारी कई त पतो पियो कि इन्हनि लाइफ जा उहे फेस ॾिठा आहिनि, हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान जो, उन खां सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर, माउ खे खोहण, 7 ॿार भाउर भेनर 70 हुया, उन जी परवरिश करणु, स्कॉलरशिप सां ऑक्सफोर्ड वञणु। त माण्हू जेको ज़मीन सां जुड़ी करे हलंदो आहे, जंहिं कष्ट ॾिठा हूंदा आहिनि, उहो ई हर शइ जी रियलाइज़ेशन कंदो आहे। सॼी वर्ल्ड घुमण खां पोइ बि सिंगापुर में विया त हिनखे इहो लॻो कि हिकु ई शइ आहे जेकी सिंधियत मेन आहे, कि सिंधियत हुजणु खपे, जेकी धीरे धीरे घटि थिए थी। असां हर प्लेटफॉर्म ते, इंटरनेशनल ते, हर सिंगापुर में, इंडोनेशिया में, जगह जगह इहो मैसेज ॾियण जी कोशिशि कयूं था। इन प्रोग्राम जे थ्रू बि यंगस्टर वटि वञणु खपे। अगरि भाषा विलुप्त थी वई, उन्हनि जे लाइ पाण जेकी ॻाल्हायूं था देवनागरी, रोमन, हे, त कहिड़ी बि तरह सां उन्हनि वटि इहा ॻाल्हि वञणु ॾाढो ई ज़रूरी आहे कि सिंधियत जेकी आहे ख़तमु न थियणु खपे न्यू जनरेशन में। छोकी दादा त ख़ैर मां खां ॾाढा वॾा हुया, मुंहिंजी जॾहिं मुलाक़ातूं थियूं इंटरनेशनल सम्मेलन में, त मां ॻाल्हाईंदो हुउमि त उनजो वन टाइम प्रोग्राम ई हूंदो हुयो कि सिंधी जेकी आहे जिंदा रहे, जिंदा रहे, जिंदा रहे। उहा हिकु दीप जेको जलाए विया आहिनि, उहो दीप असां सभिनि खे उहा जोत ॾींदो ऐं इहो दीप जलंदो रहंदो। सभिनि सॼो उन जे बारे में ॻाल्हायो। इन जे बारे में जेतिरो ॻाल्हायूं असां घटि आहे। ॿ जेके इन जा मेन मुद्दा हुया, सिंधियत, ॿियो हिंद में सिंध, उन जी शुरूआत झूलेलाल तीरथ धाम सां ईष्ट देव जी उहा थी चुकी आहे। मंदिर हिकु पार्ट ठही चुको आहे, जंहिंमें असांजा दिलीप लखी, राय सिंघानी ऐं राम बख्शानी, फबनानी, गोविंद सभु माण्हू जुड़ियल आहिनि। हाणे उन ईष्ट देव जी दया सां इहो हिंद में सिंध जो सुपिनो बि पूरो थिए थो। हिकु ॻाल्हि जेकी प्रकाश गुजारी चई कि माण्हू खे यादि करण लाइ उन जो हिकु किताबु हुजणु खपे, जेको असांजो प्रेसिडेंट ज़रूरु ठाहींदो AGSA में, त उन सां ताकि मैसेज सॼे समुदाय खे वञे। मैसेज इन महिल जेको आहे यंगस्टर वटि वञणु ज़रूरी आहे, बिकॉज दे आर द फ्यूचर ऑफ आवर सोसाइटी एंड कंट्री। इन वर्ड सां मां भावपूर्ण श्रद्धांजलि दादा अर्जन दासवानी ऐं भॻवान सां प्रार्थना कयां थो कि अर्जन दासवानी जा जेके परिवार आहिनि, दासवानी परिवार, अडवानी परिवार खे शक्ति ॾे। दादा जेको नालो कमायो, जेकी यात्रा कयं, उन यात्रा में असां उन्हनि सां गॾु आहियूं, भगवान उनखे शक्ति ॾींदो कि उन्हीं जे ॾेखारे रस्ते ते न केवल समाज ई हलंदो, उहे बि हलण जी कोशिश कंदा। इन सां ई मां ओम शांति, ओम शांति, ओम शांति।
ओम शांति। एस कुमार सर, असां सां गॾु डॉक्टर पिताम्बर पीटर दलवानी सर आहिनि, इंडिया एंड अफ्रीका मां। त प्लीज़ मां तव्हां सां रिक्वेस्ट कंदमि कि असांखे प्लीज़ तव्हां श्रद्धांजलि जे मौके ते
Thank you, Simran ji. Thank you, AGSA President Datuk Shah ji, for organizing Shradhanjali program for our Dada Daswani ji. असां सभिनी खे ॿुधोसीं एतिरो सुठियूं सुठियूं ॻाल्हियूं। मूंखे बि हिकिड़ो एक्सपीरियंस उन्हनि सां मिलियो जॾहिं सम्मेलन पुणे में पे थियो, त मूंखे डेली सुबुह जो 7 लॻे फोन कंदा हुआ, पीटर हीअं कजे। त हिकु दफ़ो दादा खे मां चयो, दादा सुबुह जा 7 आहिनि, मां सुम्हियो पियो हूंदो आहियां। चई मूंखे हींअर ॻाल्हि यादि आई आहे त यू मस्ट राइट डाउन। ही टॉट मी मेनी थिंग्स कि भाई कीअं सम्मेलन खे ऑर्गेनाइज कजे, कीअं सिस्टम में आणिजे, बैकअप कंप्यूटर, ॿ कंप्यूटर रखिजे जीअं बैकअप हुजे। त he really loved me a lot and he used to teach me like a son. अॼु दादा असां सां गॾु कान्हनि त मां उनखे श्रद्धांजलि थो ॾियां। थैंक यू डॉक्टर मिस्टर दत्तुक शाह जी, तव्हां इहो ऑर्गेनाइज कयो। आवर प्रेयर्स। ओम शांति।
ओम शांति। डॉक्टर पीटर सर, असां सां गॾु इंडिया मां मिस बीना रामचंदानी जी आहिनि, प्लीज़। बीना मैम, जय झूलेलाल।
Om Shanti and Jai Jhulelal. Though I have not met Dada personally, but was really lucky to have telephonic conversation on Sindhi Sammelan days to show news on a Sindhu Darshan Sindhi channel and have learned a lot from his guidance. It takes a minutes to find a special person, an hour to appreciate them, but it takes an entire lifetime to forget them. So is our Dada Arjan ji, gone from our sight, but never from our heart, as he has served Sindhiyat the whole life. Bhagavad Gita says, Atma ta ajar amar avinashi aayi, badal jando ta sirf dress and address hi aayi. Atma jite bhi वेंदी आहे त पाण सां उहा सिंधियत जी सेवा जेका दादाजी में हुई संस्कार उहे पाण सां हू खणी विया आहिनि। असांजे सिंधु दर्शन टीम तरफ़ां स्नेह भरी तहे दिल सां दादाजी आत्मा खे नित नित नमन ऐं भगवान दर प्रार्थना त हिन वक़्तु फैमिली खे हिम्मत प्रदान करे। I am grateful to Datuk Shah ji for organizing such memorable moments of Dadaji. We'll never forget him. Om Shanti and Jai Jhulelal.
Om Shanti, Jai Jhulelal. We can see Raj sir, Raj Daswani ji, Datuk Shah sir. Can we ask, Rajesh is I think here maybe. So can we ask him please?
Yeah, Mr. Raj, welcome to our show, because we expected you much earlier. Unfortunately, you came in later, but our deepest condolences to you and your whole family. We lost a great man, as I think you have witnessed the statement by a lot of people are so passionate with him, and he contributed from his bottom, from his life, heart, until to the last day at his bedside. We will never forget this, whatever he have done. So, and we feel that we will give him all the journey that he wants us to do, and we will try to continue it. So our heartfelt on behalf of AGSA Board, which I know is in a very nice place in the heaven. So this is our contribution to Dada, the least we can do.
Yeah, I've been listening, and I just wanted to say thank you for everyone for all your contributions, all your kind words. I have never met many of you, but I know all the work that he's been doing the last 2 decades of his life. Obviously very passionate about everything that you've talked about today. And so unless I'm happy to answer any questions, but I'm very happy to hear all your words. Thank you for organizing this.
Thank you, Raj sir. Thank you so much, Jai Jhulelal. May we please request Chanda Virani ma'am, who's joined us from India. Jai Jhulelal.
जय झूलेलाल सभिनी खे। मां हिंद में सिंध जी होस्ट चंदा विरानी। थदल हिकिड़ो नंढो गीत आहे। तोखे की न विसारींदासीं दादा श्री दासवानी, अर्जन श्री दासवानी। तोखे की विसारींदासीं दादा श्री दासवानी, अर्जन श्री दासवानी। कल भी त तू ही हुए, अज भी तू ही आई, सुबह भी तू हूंदे। आशीर्वाद पंहिंजा ॾींदे, रहबर तीरा ॾेखारे, साण ही रहंदे। दादा श्री दासवानी, अर्जन श्री दासवानी। तोखे कीन बुलाईंदासीं दादा श्री दासवानी, अर्जन श्री दासवानी। दादा श्री दासवानी जी हिंद में सिंध असांजे एपिसोड में घटि में घटि 30-35 एपिसोड में हमेशह असां सां गॾु रहिया आहिनि। हुननि जी रहमत असां वटां हुई जो हर दफ़े हू असांखे राह ॾेखारींदा हुआ, पंहिंजा वीचार ॿुधाईंदा हुआ ऐं आशीर्वाद ॾींदा हुआ, पंहिंजा राया ॿुधाईंदा। वेझराईअ में कुझु 15 ॾींहं पहिरीं मूंखे चयो हो त जेका व्हील चेयर हुननि बुक कई हुई इंडिया मां, उहा हुननि खे खपंदी हुई। स्पेशल व्हील चेयर हुई जेका बंदोबस्तु कई हुई मूं, ऐं मतिलबु हुननि खे तमामु तकड़ी खपंदी हुई ऐं 15 तारीख़ जे अंदरि उन्हनि खे उहा पहुचण वारी हुई। स्पेशल व्हील चेयर हुई, ऑर्डिनरी कोन हुई जेका सिर्फ़ु ठाराई वई हुई। पर अफ़सोस तो थिए त उहा व्हील चेयर त ठही चुकी आहे, पर उन ते वेहण वारा असांजा अर्जन दास जी कोन रहिया आहिनि। पर मां इहो ई चवंदसि त हू कल्ह बि हुआ, अॼु बि आहिनि ऐं सुभाणे बि रहंदा, ऐं उन्हनि जो ॾिठल ई हिंद में सिंध सपनो ज़रूर ज़रूर पूरो थींदो। न सिर्फ़ पूरो थींदो, पर असांखे उन्हनि जा आशीर्वाद बि मिलंदा। जय झूलेलाल।
जय झूलेलाल। असां सां इंडिया मां डॉक्टर ज्योति जांगियानी जी आहिनि। डॉक्टर ज्योति जांगियानी प्लीज।
Jai Jhulelal. First of all, I'm very much thankful and grateful to Dr. Dayal Mishri uncle. छाकाणि त उन जे करे ई मां कनेक्ट थी हुयसि दादा अर्जन जी सां। जॾहिं 2017 में डॉक्टर दयाल मिश्री मूंखे स्पॉन्सर कयो हुन ट्रिप ते एज अ टैरो रीडर, त तॾहिं मां पंहिंजे लाइक झूलेलाल क्रूज़ हो हुन समय ते सिंधी सम्मेलन जो झूलेलाल क्रूज़, ऐं उते मां हिकु पंहिंजी पार्टनर ॻोल्हे रही हुअसि, रूम पार्टनर, लेडी पार्टनर। त डॉक्टर दयाल मिश्री मूंखे ॿुधायो कि ही इज़ द राइट पर्सन दादा अर्जन, ही तुंहिंजी मदद कंदा ऐं तोखे सुठी पार्टनर वठी ॾींदा। नो डाउट दादा अर्जन काफ़ी महिनत कई ऐं मूंखे हेॾी वंडरफुल पार्टनर, लेडी पार्टनर वठी ॾिनई, रूम पार्टनर, जेकी मुंहिंजी अॼु लाइफ टाइम जी फ्रेंड थी वई आहे। ऐं उन जे थ्रू मां दातुक शाह सां बि कनेक्ट थी वियसि। त इन बहाने सां मुंहिंजी इन से कॉन्वर्सेशन हली रही हुई एंड फाइनली असांखे इहो क्रूज़ जेको झूलेलाल क्रूज़ हो 2017 जो असांखे सिंगापुर मां खणणो हो। त आई वॉज इन सिंगापुर फॉर 2 days ऐं जंहिं असां होटल में हुआसीं ऐं उते ई ओह वाह, इहा पिक्चर आहे, लाइक यू कैन सी प्रेशियस जेम्स ऑफ आगसा, प्रेम अंकल, रमोला आंटी, लाल अंकल एंड दादा अर्जन एंड ब्यूटीफुल वंडरफुल मेमोरीज। आई एम सो ब्लेस्ड, आई एम सो लकी कि मुंहिंजो हुन सां गॾु कनेक्ट थियो। एंड मूंखे न कंहिं ॿुधायो हो कि ख़बर थी दादा न थोड़ा न गुस्से वारा बि अथई, त उनखे कॾहिं बि अपसेट करण जी कोशिशि न कजांइ एंड कॾहिं बि कुझु बि प्रॉब्लम थी वञे न, कॾहिं हुन सां आर्ग्यूमेंट न कजे, कुझु रीज़न एक्सक्यूज़ न ॾिजे, सिंपली से सॉरी ऐं सभु मामलो ठीक थी वेंदो। उन्होंने ॿुधायो कि शॉर्ट टेम्पर्ड आहे। शॉर्ट टेम्पर्ड मतलब इहो बि आहे कि शॉर्ट टाइम लिए रुगो गुस्सो ईंदो, लेकिन वरी उहो प्यार बि कंदा हुआ। जीअं असांजे दादा कीअं थींदा आहिनि, असां ग़लति कंदा आहियूं त असांखे पनिश कंदा आहिनि, गुस्सो कंदा आहिनि, लेकिन उनखां पोइ अगरि सभु ठीक थी वेंदो त असांखे प्यार करे भाकुर बि पाईंदा आहिनि। त हिकु दफ़ो छा थियो, असांखे जंहिं ॾींहुं असांखे क्रूज़ खणणो हो त असां हिकु प्राइवेट गाॾी हुई जंहिंमें 5-6 मेंबर्स वञण वारा हुआ। त ऑल वर वेटिंग, मूंखे 5-10 मिंट लेट थी वियो। मां लेट थी वियुसि त मां जंहिं डोर पाईंदी आयसि, दादा आई एम सॉरी। त दादा कुझु ॿुधण तयार ई न हुआ। ही वॉज वेरी मच अपसेट। पंक्चुअल हुजणु घुरिजे, टाइम जी वैल्यू एंड जाम कुछ चढ़ लगा त मूंखे उतां डॉक्टर दयाल मिश्री मां शांति करे रखो ॿुधिजे मां रुगो शांति करे ॿुधी हुयसि थियो असां गाॾी में वेठासीं विदिन 5-10 मिनट्स उनखे कुझु रियलाइज़ थियो अरे ये त नई आई आहे ऐं छा सोचींदी की शायदि मैं अचण सां गुस्सो बि कयोमांसि त मां शांति करे वेठी हुयसि पोइ चई अच्छा ज्योति तूं सिंधी में ॻाल्हाईंदी आहीं अचे हा दादा हमेशह सिंधी में ॻाल्हाईंदी कर दैट्स द रीज़न अॼु मां हिते बि उनजी श्रद्धांजलि में भी मैं सिंधी में ॻाल्हाए रही आहियां छाकाणि त मूंखे ख़बर आहे कि उनजी सोल उनजी आत्मा है इहो असांजो शो ॾिसी रही आहे त उन्हनि मूंखे चयो ॿुधाए तूं छा कंदी आहीं मूंखे ख़बर आहे तूं ज्योतिष विद्या कंदी आहीं मां चयो हा दादा मां टैरो कंदी आहियां न्यूमरोलॉजी पोइ हीलिंग छा कंदी आहीं मूंखे ॿुधाए मां चयो दादा मां रेकी ग्रैंड मास्टर आहियां फिजिकल मेंटल इमोशनल स्पिरिचुअल हीलिंग ईंदी आहियां त मूंखे हीलिंग ईंदी तूं मूंखे हीअं सिधो चयो मां चयो हा दादा जी मूंखे जाम टंगुनि में सूर थींदो आहे मां व्हील चेयर ते आहियां केयर टेकर आहे मूंसां गॾु अॼुकल्ह थोरो घटि बि ॾिसण थो अचे ऐं त इन करे मूंखे जाम फ्रस्ट्रेशन बि थींदी आहे मुंहिंजो गुस्सो बि जाम अची थो वञे त मां चयो न दादा मां तव्हांखे ज़रूरु ॾींदसि इहे त सौभाग्य जी ॻाल्हि आहे की तव्हां मुंहिंजे साम्हूं खां चयो आहे की हीलिंग ते जे ख़बर आहे तूं अगरि इंडिया हली वेंदी न त तूं मूंखे विसारे छॾींदी कहिड़ो दादा मां चयो न दादा बिल्कुलु न सम्मेलन खां पोइ जॾहिं मां इंडिया आयसि आई वॉज इन कॉन्स्टेंट टच विद दादा दादा मूंखे कॉल कंदा हुआ ऐं मूंखे चवंदा हीलिंग्स तूं ॾेई रही आहीं न ऐं सेड यस दादा मां तव्हांखे हीलिंग्स ॾेई रही आहियां वरी नेक्स्ट ईयर 2015 जेको सिल्वर जुबली सम्मेलन हो मां दादा खे सभिनी खां फर्स्ट न्यूज़ ॾिनी दादा मूंखे हिन इनवाइट कयो आहे ऑफिशियल इनवाइट आयो आहे सम्मेलन में दादा चई आई न्यू इट यू डिज़र्व इट बट एंड मोमेंट ते दादा चयो कि मां नथो अची सघां मतिलबु उन सम्मेलन ते वो दादा अची न सघिया बट हमेशह उनजो मूंखे चयो कि ज्योति तूं जॾहिं बि वञी हुते जेके पोस्ट हुजे इंटरव्यूज़ हुजनि उते जी ख़बरूं मूंखे ईमेल कजांइ ऐं मूंखे व्हाट्सएप बि कजांइ ऐसे डन दादा ऐं मां उहो कयूं दादा सां मुंहिंजो ईअं टच रहियो हमेशह दिवाली ग्रीटिंग्स न्यू ईयर ग्रीटिंग्स हमेशह उनजा ईमेल ईंदा हुआ लास्ट हाणे जॾहिं कोरोना फेज़ बि शुरू थियो उन्हनि जो ईमेल आयो हो कि स्टे सेफ स्टे होम मतलब लाइक ही वाज एट दिस 90 years of age एडो एक्टिव हुआ हैट्स ऑफ टू हिम कि इन एज में भी वो एंड प्रॉम्प्ट रिप्लाई कुछ भी तव्हां चवंदा वेरी नेक्स्ट तव्हांखे रिप्लाई अची वेंदो सो आई फील सो ब्लेस्ड सो लकी कि इन लाइफ जर्नी में मां उन सां कनेक्ट थी आहियां एंड ऑल आई एम जस्ट थैंकफुल टू डॉक्टर दयाल मिश्री जी कि उन मूंखे उन सां कनेक्ट करायो एंड मूंखे मां ये परमात्मा से प्रार्थना कंदसि कि उन्हनि जी आत्मा खे हमेशह शांति मिले ऐं उन्हनि जो आशीर्वाद असां सभिनी जे मथां हमेशह बरक़रार रहे जय झूलेलाल
जय झूलेलाल डॉक्टर ज्योति जांगियानी जी असां सां गॾु आगसा बोर्ड डायरेक्टर आहिनि राजेश नागपाल जी USA मां जय झूलेलाल राजेश नागपाल जी
जय झूलेलाल बाबा दादा खे श्रद्धांजलि जे वास्ते जेके बि माण्हू आया थैंक यू वेरी मच ऐं हुननि जे फैमिली दासवानी सां फैमिली ऑल्सो मैंशन कि भाई सभिनी खे थैंक यू कजांइ ऐं अक्सा जे तरफ़ों बि भाई सभिनी खे थैंक यू हाणे जेके दादा असांखे पासिंग अवे त थी विया असांजा बिलव दादा दासवानी जी ऐं इहा सिंधी कम्युनिटी खे पूरे वर्ल्ड वाइड खे सैड आहे कि whenever दादा spoke to me over the phone मां इंग्लिश में बि चवंदुमि ऐं सिंधी में बि चवंदुमि छो त जाम माण्हू आहिनि असांजे USA में हुननि खे सिंधी न ईंदी आहे ऐं जेके माण्हू सिंधी न ईंदी आहे उन्हनि जे वास्ते इंग्लिश में बि मां चवंदुमि कि दादा खे हेतिरो पैशन हुयो असांजे सिंधियत जे वास्ते जॾहिं बि दादा मूंखे फ़ोन कंदा हुया राजेश असांजे इंडिया में सिंधी हिकु स्टेट थिए ऐं कॾहिं त दादा मूंखे चवंदा हुया असांजे सिंधी बुक्स हर हिकिड़े स्कूल में वञे इंडिया में छो त असांजो सिंधी न त जेको बि इहो आहे लैंग्वेज न त ख़तमु थी वेंदो दादा जी ॻाल्हि सही हुई ऐं लास्ट मां जॾहिं दादा सां ॻाल्हायो हुयो दादा जी मर्ज़ी इहा हुई कि जेको कंप्यूटर आहे हुन जे कीबोर्ड ते सिंधी जो अक्षर हुजे I hope everybody is understanding that Dada wanted was computer in the Sindhi keyboard on the computer and it should be made in Sindhi. Why am I saying this? So this way, everybody can understand me in Sindhi and in English. और दादाजी त इहा ख़्वाहिश हुई असांजे सिंधी जे स्कूल में सभु माण्हू सिंधी में ॻाल्हाइनि ऐं असांजी जेकी दादा जी कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन हुई असांजे सिंधियत जे वास्ते उहा कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन आई होप अलाइव अगरि असां रखूं त जाम सुठो थींदो ऐं दादाजी सिंधियत हमेशह जिए ओम शांति जय झूलेलाल थैंक यू वेरी मच
ओम शांति जय झूलेलाल राजेश नागपाल जी दातुक शाह सर असांजो जेको कीबोर्ड आहे असांखे सोचणो पवंदो वी हैव टू थिंक 52 अल्फाबेट्स ऑन द कीबोर्ड we'll take a look at audio visual of Anil Wadhwani ji from USA. Please join us for the audio visual.
My name is Anil Wadhwani, and on behalf of the Sindhi Association of New Jersey, I'd like to offer my condolences on the sad passing away of Dada Shri Arjan Daswani. Dada was a very noble soul, and while I did not get the opportunity to meet him in person, I always heard about him from Mr. Rajesh Nagpal, who is a part of AGSA. Mr. Nagpal spoke very highly about Dada, and I wish that he rests in peace. His contributions to the Sindhi community and Sindhiyat will be always remembered, and he will be dearly missed. Jai Jhule.
Jai Jhulelal. Anil
Thank
sir,
you.
thank you so much. We have with us Pooja Motwani from India.
जय झूलेलाल सभिनि खे कुछ शब्द हैं जो कि मैं अब आपके सामने बोलूंगी दादा के लिए. Dada was really close to my heart, and my heartfelt sympathies to Daswani and Advani family. हालांकि कोई शब्द वास्तव में आपको खोने में मदद नहीं कर सकता है, बस जानते हैं कि आप हर विचार और प्रार्थना में हम सबके बहुत करीब हैं. भगवान उनकी आत्मा को शांति दे. Thanks Dada for making me a part of AGSA and Global Sindhi organization as a global Sindhi Hindu Sindhi connectivity supporter. I met Dada in 2013, and it was through late Shri Yogesh Chotrani ji, who is the founder of Saja, a group on Facebook. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Yeah. So, and the second time I met again in 2015, जो कि हम सिंगापुर में मिले दादा के साथ. Then Dada was supposed to fly with me to San Francisco for Sindhi Sammelan, but he couldn't make it because he was not having any kind of permission because his doctors were saying no. And I even booked my flight via Singapore, to take him with me, but unfortunately वो बहुत चाहते थे वो, but नहीं हो पाया उनका possible. And then again, I met when I was coming back from San Francisco. I met him in Singapore. That was in 2018. And after that, I couldn't make it. मैं नहीं जा पाई Singapore. But he used to call me almost twice a week, and he used to ask me like, what do you want to do for Sindhiyat? And I used to share my opinions, that I want to this for Sindhiyat. And that's how, he made the supporter of Hindu Sindhi organization. And I'm really thankful to him. And I will always cherish Dada's memories. And I was really, I was always, whenever I felt weak or something, I used to call him. I know the way he used to give me suggestions, I was so boosted up that, at his this age, he's doing so much, then, why not us? We can do so much. So I would like to say a few more words. I will not take much time. असा दादा के घरों में कंदा से जेके भी दादा मुझे कम दिना आई उहे सब मां पूरा कंदस. I will miss you दादा. असांजे मथा दादा जी आसीस आहे. May his soul rest in heaven. Thank you so much, Dayal uncle and Datuk ji, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pooja Motwani ji. May we please request Dr. Nirmala Wadhwani ji from India, Gujarat.
Namaste. Namaste. Om Shanti. Jai Jhulelal. सभिनी खां पहिरीं त मां जेके ऑर्गेनाइज़र्स आहिनि मिस्टर दत्तुक शाह उन्हनि जो खूब खूब धन्यवाद. I am very much thankful to him, and he has
included me in this program in the last moment. I rang him in the morning only. In the afternoon, I called him and he adjusted me. For that, I am thankful to him. दादा जेको उन्हनि जे लाइ मां एतिरो चवणु चाहींदसि कि जेको असांजी सिंधी काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया गुजरात चैप्टर आहे ऐं राष्ट्रीय सिंधी समाज ऐं सॼे गुजरात जे सिंधी समाज जे तरफ़ां मां दादा खे श्रद्धांजलि थी अर्पित कयां ऐं दादा जो हिकु मां एक्सपीरियंस ॿुधाइणु चाहींदसि। कोरोना जे टाइम में हिकु लेडी खे तकलीफ़ हुई, कोरोना हो ऐं उनजो ऑक्सीजन लेवल घटि थी वियो त उन दादा खे कॉन्टेक्ट कयो कि भई मूंखे गुजरात में आहियां ऐं हीअ मूंखे तकलीफ़ आहे त दादा उन्हनि पंहिंजो प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड या कुझु बि चवणु उन्हनि तकिड़ो मुंहिंजो नंबर उन्हनि खे ॾेई छॾियो ऐं चयूं तूं निर्मला वाधवानी सां ॻाल्हाए ऐं उहो तोखे हेल्प कंदई। त उन लेडी मूंखे फ़ोन कयो ऐं मूंखे दादा जो रेफरेंस ॾिनो कि भई दादा तुंहिंजे लाइ चयो आहे, मूंखे हेल्प कयो ऐं मां समहाउ भॻवान जी दया सां उन्हनि जो जेतिरी बि मैक्सिमम हेल्प थी सघी करे छॾियो। उन्हनि जो एडमिशन, ऑक्सीजन जी अरेंजमेंट वग़ैरह सभु मां कराए ॾिनो। त दादा खे उहा ॻाल्हि बिल्कुलु यादि हुई। वरी जॾहिं हिंद में सिंध प्रोग्राम में असां ऑनलाइन जुड़ंदा हुआसीं त दादा उन में बि हिकु पहिरियों दफ़ो उहो उन ॻाल्हि खे कोट कयो कि मां निर्मला खे चयो ऐं उन्हनि हिकु लेडी खे हिन तरह सां हेल्प कई। त इहो दादा जो हिकु सुठी हिकु ॻाल्हि हुई कि कंहिं बि ॻाल्हि खे उहो ध्यान सां सोचे करे ऐं कंहिं बि पॉइंट ते उन ॻाल्हि खे ज़िक्र करे उन्हनि खे चई सघनि था, उन्हनि खे यादि रहंदो ऐं उन्हनि खे माना उन्हनि खे रिलेट करे सघंदा, को रिलेट करे सघंदा। त मां दादा खे सां मां जुदा जुदा जेके इंटरनेशनल सिंधी सम्मेलन थींदा जीअं अहमदाबाद वग़ैरह, कुआलालंपुर वग़ैरह, उन्हनि में मां दादा सां मुलाक़ात कई हुई ऐं दादा जो हमेशह सिंधियत लाइ ॾाढो प्रेम हो, सिंधी लैंग्वेज लाइ ॾाढो प्रेम हो। एतिरो बैड ते हूंदा त बि हमेशह हिंद में सिंध प्रोग्राम में हू ऑनलाइन ईंदा ऐं असांखे ॾाढो इंस्पायर कंदा कि भई असांखे सिंधियत लाइ कुझु करणु खपे। त अहिड़े शख़्सियत जिन खे सिंधियत लाइ एॾो प्यार हो, प्रेम हो, सिंधी लैंग्वेज लाइ, सिंधी कल्चर ऐं सिंधियत लाइ, त अहिड़े लाइ दादा लाइ असां ख़ूब उन्हनि जे वञण सां असांखे ख़ूब खोट थी आहे। वी हैव लॉस्ट अ लॉट। पर मां एतिरो चवणु चाहींदसि भले दादा असांजे विच में न आहिनि पर उन्हनि जी सूक्ष्म रूप में उन्हनि जी यादूं, उन्हनि जा जेके मार्गदर्शन आहिनि उहे असांजे सां गॾु आहिनि। त असां उन्हनि जा जेके ॾिनल मार्गदर्शन, जेके कम आहिनि उन्हनि खे असां पूरा कयूं त इहा ई असांजी सची श्रद्धांजलि थींदी। ऐं अॼु जे ॾींहुं मां ईश्वर खे प्रार्थना कंदसि कि प्रभु दादा खे पंहिंजनि चरणनि में जॻह ॾियनि, उन्हनि जी आत्मा खे शांति थिए ऐं ॿिन्ही परिवार दासवानी ऐं आडवाणी परिवार खे असां श्रद्धांजलि कन्वे था कयूं। ऐं जय झूलेलाल, ओम शांति।
ओम शांति, जय झूलेलाल। असां सां गॾु मिस्टर महेश मलकानी जी आहिनि, प्लीज़। जय झूलेलाल।
जय झूलेलाल। ईअं त हिकु न हिकु ॾींहुं सभिनि खे संसार छॾे वञिणो आहे, पर दादा अर्जन दासवानी जो हिन संसार खे छॾे वञणु पंहिंजे सिंधी समाज जो जाम वॾो नुक़सानु आहे। मां दादा खे सिर्फ़ु 8 महीननि खां सुञाणंदो आहियां, पर अॼु हेतिरे थोरे अरसे में मुंहिंजे दिलि ते उन्हनि जो वॾी छाप छॾे विया आहिनि। हिंद में सिंध ठाहिणु दादा जो हिकु सुपिनो हुयो ऐं हॉस्पिटल जे बेड तां बि हू आख़िरी वक़्त ताईं असांखे हिमताईंदा रहंदा हुया। भॻवानु कंदो पाण सभई सिंधी मिली करे दादा जो इहो सुपिनो ज़रूरु पूरो कंदासीं ऐं हिकिड़ी आदम कद मूर्ति ज़रूरु हिकु सेंट्रल प्लेस ते लॻाईंदासीं। मूंखे यादि आहे हिकु दफ़ो हिकिड़ो स्पीकर बार बार चए पियो इहो कॾहिं न थींदो, सिंध में सिंध कॾहिं न ठहींदो, सिंधी हिकु मुश्त थींदा ई न, ईअं जेसि ताईं सिंधी हिकु मुश्त न थींदा इहो न ठहींदो। दादा हुनखे एॾो कड़ो जवाबु ॾिनो कि सिंधी कॾहिं हिकु मुश्त न थी सघंदा, इहो तूं सोचे वठो। सो सुठो इहो आहे कि अॻिते वधो, पाण ई सभु जुड़ंदा वेंदा। केॾी सुठी ॻाल्हि हुननि चई। अॼु ॾिसो अॻिते वधी करे असांजी कंपनी ठही वई आहे ऐं असांजा प्रोमोटर्स ठहणु शुरू थी विया आहिनि, पैसा बैंक में अचणु शुरू थी विया आहिनि ऐं उमेद आहे त जल्दी भॻवानु दादा जे इन सुपिने खे पूरो कंदो। भॻवान जो हुकुमनामो पाण सभिनि खे सत करणो आहे ऐं सिंधियत जे सिपाही दादा अर्जन दास खे मां पंहिंजी ऐं सिंधी काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया ईस्टर्न जोन ऐं हिंद में सिंध जे डायरेक्टर जे तौर ते श्रद्धांजलि ॾींदे इहो ई चवंदुसि त परमात्मा दादा खे पंहिंजे चरणनि में वास रखंदा ऐं परिवार खे इन दुख खे झेलण जी शक्ति ॾींदा ऐं संदसि पुटनि विनोद ऐं राजेश वासवानी खे असां इहा ई विनती कंदासीं त दादा जे सपने खे पूरो करण में असांजो साथ ॾींदा। जय झूलेलाल, जय हिंद में सिंध।
Jai Julelal. We are truly thankful to all the family members, Vinodji, Jeena Advani, Pishu Advani ji, Mr. Lalit Shah, whose friend come family, and Raj as well. Datuksha Lalchandra Naisa, may we please have the post.
Okay, we're coming to the end now, and we heard a lot sincerely from everybody. They sincerely express how much they have loved for Dada and what they have learned from Dada. And I personally mentioned earlier, I have learned a lot from Dada. No doubt we are neighbors in Malaysia and Singapore. As I mentioned, Dada is the one who brought me in AGSA as a board member, and today I'm the president of the AGSA. So which, like I mentioned earlier, I'm really, which I'll never forget this in my entire life. So I think I'm as the president of Alliance of Global Sindhi Association, on behalf of my entire board members, I'd like to say thank you to Dada family members, the guests of honor, Mr. Prakash Hinduja, and all the dignitaries who have joined us today, and also who is watching this live event around the world. Thank you for joining us for this tribute to the late Dada Arjan Daswani. Thank you. Even with this late hour, the people are still watching us. I really appreciate that. I also appreciate people have been waiting in the waiting room for the last 2 hours, been very patient. And so many people want to say their tribute to Dada, but I could not do it for everybody. No doubt the show will last next 6 hours. So that is a reason that we have to limit it. I'm sorry for that. I'm apology for that. I could not take everybody in. So I really like to thank especially all the guests who have been waiting in the room for the last 2 hours, which is beyond our control. And thank you for being so patient. I would like to thank to Ms. Kajal Chandan Ranmani, the singer, Mr. Rohit Raj Nani from the Bellwether Group, the Zoom coordinator for today, and he's been doing this fantastically. I've been working with him for the last 3 weeks, practically every day, 2 to 3 calls to make sure that everything goes in order. And I think he has delivered. I'm very impressed with him, what he has done. Very patient. He's a great gentleman. I work with him. Now this is the second show. The first show he did for our AGSA website. And this is the second show he has done. I would say that a thumbs up to him. He's very patient, understanding, and willing to cooperate. So that's a great thing about this, Mr. Rohit. And of course, our greatest anchor, our official anchor for AGSA, Miss Simran Ayuja. She's always been dynamic. She's been very patient, very thoughtful. Everything I tell her, she said, no problem, we'll do it, Dato, we'll do it. So I think I'm very grateful to you for whatever you all been doing for this show. All 3 of them have contributed their service for this event complimentary towards the tribute to late Dada Arjan Daswani. They did not charge us anything. I really, in that video, grateful to you all for your contribution. And of course, not forgetting Miss Lourdes Alexander, who did the design for the flyer. She is another excellent woman, very precise what I want her to do, she did it, and she does it urgently. So I would like to say thank you to all of you all again. Thank you, thank you. Jai Sindhi, Jai Julelal. Good night. Thank you.
Jai Jhulelal. We are all enriched by the truly unbelievable experiences which have all been true. With folded hands, we all thank our president of AGSA, Dada Shri for allowing all of us to enrich ourselves, to empower ourselves so that we could learn so much from Dada, even if we can all be 1% of what our visionary leader is, because he's always in our hearts. His vision is with us. So we shall be truly grateful. So thank you so much to each and every one of you, to all the beautiful souls who joined us from all across the world for this Shradhanjali. Our humble thanks to the Daswani family and the Advani family. Thank you to AGSA, our president, Dada Shri Arjan, and the entire family of AGSA. Jai Jhulelal. Om Shanti.